Good morning, David Atkins here. Today I got this video. It's a very good video. It's a 3-hour video of different whistleblowers and stuff on this mind control marathon, this Pete Santilli show. And I'm hoping they're gonna let me post it. They should. So anyway, I'm gonna start out with a Bible verse, and then I will merge this video in. It's 3 hours. It's nothing but whistleblowers and TI's calling and advocacy for TIs in itself. Great show. I know you probably won't be able to listen to it in the first sitting, but it's worth listening to. It's got John Hall, Robert Duncan, many whistleblowers, 3 hours worth of whistleblowers and nothing but TIs calling in the show talking about their experience. So I'm coming for 1 Peter 5:8, and it says, "Be sober and be vigilant, for your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking who he may devour." And that's true today. And we need to be watchful and mindful of the devil's tricks, because sure, the Lord knows he's got a lot of them. So here's the Pete Santilli show. Like I said, very good information all around the board. You got whistleblowers. He had whistleblowers all on that show. 3 hours worth. God bless y'all.
Because Home Advisor knows it's important to find a pro you can trust in your home, they conduct background checks on their service professionals. It's just one of the reasons more than 25 million homeowners have used Home Advisor. Go to rebuild.homeadvisor.com to find the right pro for your project. That's rebuild.homeadvisor.com.
A U.S. Army soldier was killed and 7 were injured during a training exercise involving a large gun at Fort Bragg in North Carolina on Friday, officials at the base said. The 82nd Airborne Division soldiers were participating in an early morning live-fire training exercise with a M777 light-towed howitzer gun when the incident occurred, the Army said in a statement. It provided no further details on how exactly the mishap occurred. Protests have been held in Arizona against the state's passage of a bill allowing business owners to refuse service to gays on religious grounds, the BBC reports. Hundreds rallied for demonstrations in the cities of Phoenix and Tucson a day after the bill was approved. Republican Governor Jan Brewer has not yet said if she will sign the bill into law. A decision is expected next week. Similar legislation has been introduced in 7 other U.S. states, but Arizona is the only one to pass it. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is IRN USA News.
You could be financially independent and never have to worry about money again. Hi, how in the world are you anyway? This is Andy Willoughby speaking for the 3-Step Plan. The 3-Step Plan is a business system designed to help families start their own home-based business. If you like working with people with similar family values, you'll love the 3-Step Plan. For information, go to 3Step USA or call 800-480-2102. 800-480-2102.
A 7th grade football coach was ordered held without bail on Friday and will plead not guilty to the kidnapping and murder of a girl snatched from a Missouri street, his lawyer said. Craig Michael Wood, accused of the abduction on Tuesday of 10-year-old Haley Owens from a neighborhood in Springfield, Missouri, made his first court appearance on Friday over a video monitor from the Greene County Jail. Wood, 45, was formally charged in Greene County Associate Court on Friday with murder, child abduction, and armed criminal action. He was ordered held without bond, and a preliminary hearing in the case was set for April 7th. Now the UN Secretary General is calling for more troops for CAR. Precious Watson has that story.
On Thursday, the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon called for an immediate deployment of more troops and aid to rescue the Central African Republic from a de facto partition of the country into Christian and Muslim areas. France has already increased its contingent, and the European Union has said it will start sending as many as 1,000 soldiers to the country in March. Nearly 6,000 African Union troops are on the ground now, aided by about 2,000 French soldiers. Ban Ki-moon on Thursday said that the mission needed 3,000 more soldiers and police officers and $38 million to buy food and fuel for the African troops. With IRN USA Radio News, I'm Precious Watson.
Across America and around the world, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is IRN USA News, and I'm Sean Scott Ferguson.
Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oath Keeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan, not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any grid-down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's Armor Combo with plate carrier, front back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/Infidel to check out Infidel Body Armor and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
Visit WazooSurvivalGear.com, home of the Adventure Bracelet and other wearable survival kits today. For survival bracelets with all of the features you need for everyday challenges, with options for construction materials, individualization, and a wide range of utility features like fish hook, safety pin, whistle, cable ties, fire steel and striker blade, compass, and more. Meant to be disguised in your everyday life and ready whenever.
Then it's beyond my capability to explain it to you. They will get away with whatever.
First aid tinder fat packs and a handcuff key. WazooSurvivalGear.com, survival bracelets, survival keychains, do-it-yourself kits, and more. Plus, if you donate $100 or more to the Gorilla Media Network, we will send you one of Wazoo's wearable survival kits, a custom GMN nameplate as a reminder of our appreciation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a little bit of a surprise. Not a regular, not a guest. Yes, a guest. I'll call her a guest. Her name is Barbara Geyer, and she's on the line with me right now, and I'm going to introduce her, and she's going to tell you a story about herself. And I think you're going to be kind of surprised, and that's where the surprise is. Ms. Geyer, are you there?
I'm here.
You are. Welcome to the Pete Santilli Show. Thank you so much for taking time out to join us.
Where are you located, and where is this coming from?
I'm located in Southern California. We're broadcasting worldwide on the internet, and we will actually be recording this entire 6-hour presentation specifically. Talking to TIs and talking about mind control and stuff like that. But I wanted to find out from you what you know about the TIs and about mind control and directed energy. Are you aware of any of that?
I've been a victim for 50 years.
For 50 years, and
yes.
Do you mind telling us? And it's a beautiful thing, actually. You're not supposed to. A gentleman's not supposed to ask a woman her age, but how long have you been on the planet Earth?
I'm 91.
You're 91. There you go. See, I felt uncomfortable asking you that. You're 91 years young, and you've been for 50 years subjected to this. Why do you think it started on you?
Sorry?
Why do you think they started on you? Why did they target you?
Because I was uninformed and very upset. So they figured they could get by with it.
Wow. How did it start? When did you notice 50 years ago that something was happening?
Let me read this. This is the latest paper that I've made up. This information will explain what happened to me 48 years ago at North Shore Hospital, Winnetka, Illinois. I was upset about my husband's behavior. He had always been the ideal husband and father for 28 years. He was a salesman and had traveled during the week. There was no evidence of his situation that was visible. He would not call, and he did not come home for several days at a time, and when he did, I could not talk to him. He refused to talk to me, so consequently, I got very upset as time went by. I wanted to go to a marriage counselor and get the problem resolved. Finally, we went to a Dr. Gravel in Rockford, Illinois, and together they arranged for me to go to North Shore Hospital, Winnetka, Illinois. That was almost a death sentence for me. Powerful drugs were used, and the sleep machine and the shock machine got to work out. I was there 4 or 5 weeks in January 1964. I was lucky to come out alive. They operated for 4 years, and then the building was torn down and the grounds were made into a public park. During that time, I was anesthetized. I had several implants inserted into my body, making me a target for directed energy weapons. I have the surgical scars to prove the evidence. The following paragraphs are from a book written by Dr. Nick Begich, Earth Rising, Revolution Towards 1,000 Years of Peace, printed in 1980. Lies and Experimentation is the title. At least 500,000 people were used as victims of Cold War area radiation, biological, and chemical experiments sponsored by and funded by the federal government. When is it right for a democratically constituted government to lie? Is it ever right to violate citizens as experimental guinea pigs, to test new technology on citizens without their conformed consent? How many doctors were prosecuted for committing these crimes? None. The United States, after World War II, violated thousands of American citizens without their consent, or even telling them that they were being used in an experiment. These atrocities have continued since that time, and there must be immediate legal action to end these crimes against our citizens. In all instances, the violators were told the sacrifices of these tricked individuals was acceptable for the good of our country. In other words, Nazi doctors, the same as, committed these crimes against our citizens and were paid big money for their involvement. That's my description of the first.
Wow, Miss Geyer, the 50 years that you've been subjected to this, did it start out progressively? I mean, obviously, you being in the hospital, you being subjected to operations and medication. Did you realize what was happening to what happened when you realized something was happening to you when you were outside of the hospital? What did you discover?
While I was there, I was so drugged I did not talk. I was not able to talk to anybody, and only a day, 24 hours before I come out, was I allowed to be. What do you call it? Anyway, I was totally unoperative, yeah, they just really. I was very lucky to come out alive.
You were, and for 50 total years of that, how much of that time were you subjected to directed energy weaponry?
Well, I was home about two weeks, and something hellish was going on my telephone line, and I called up the police chief and I asked him what was going on. And he said, his famous words, I'll never forget them till my dying day. He said, if you don't like what we're doing on your telephone line, have it taken out. And so they continued, and they finally forced me out of my home and my job, and then they've been continuing ever since. Even if I left that area, and yeah.
Now you have a lot to offer those individuals that are just coming into this, or they're just discovering that they're TIs. How have you been able to withstand this and keep? You obviously sound extremely sane through it all.
Very, very. I never considered myself to be a very well. I was a religious person. I believed that there was a higher power. And I think that's the way I come through it. There's no way I could have done it on my own. And, of course, I had a lot of people, friends that helped me along the way, or I certainly wouldn't have made it either.
Did they think you were crazy in the beginning? I know.
Yes. Yeah, that's the way they get by with it. They make you out like you're not sane.
And you've known all along that you're a sane person. You know that this is happening to you, and everybody around you is calling you insane. Now, obviously, you had to take some time through that to get through that, to accept that you're not sane and accept the fact that other people just don't understand, right?
There's something here that I would like to have a more, I can't say the words I want to say anymore, definite definition of this illness that was responsible for this.
Please do.
Delusions. The act of deluding, the state of being deluded. An abnormal mental state characterized by the occurrence of delusions, something that is falsely believed or propagated, a persistent false or psychotic belief regarding the self or persons or objects outside the self. This was my partner, my husband. He was very, very sick, and he couldn't admit that he was sick. He had to project that onto me. And he took up with a man's wife, and they went all over I don't know, all over the state at least. He wrote in for his retirement fund. I was lucky enough to get that. And when he stopped in for it and asked about it, I said, yes, I got it. And I took it down to the bank and asked the director to bring the house payments up to date and give the kids some. And I can't remember if I got any or not. I don't know. But anyway, it's been a hell of a time.
You know, go ahead.
But I got
Take your time. Don't worry about it.
Acquainted with a person that was there for me, and that was some of God's doing also.
Ms. Geyer, I have one more question for you. It's an important one. I'm going to take just a very brief break here, and we'll be right back. Can you stay with me for a couple more minutes? I want you to think about this. In your 91 years, you've seen the United States of America change pretty dramatically over your 91 years. And I want to get your perspective as to...
I've done as much as the soldiers have, and they call me a tough cookie.
Oh, you are a tough cookie. I know that. And I want you to speak to those that haven't been around for 91 years as to whether or not you think... I'm going to put you on mute here, and we'll come back right after this break. Think about this. Are we in trouble right now if we don't wake up and rise up? I want to get your opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 91-year-old Barbara Geyer. Hey, T.I. She sounds sharp as a tack, and she's going to come back and tell us what we need to do to take our country and our world back.
Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oath Keeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan, not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any grid-down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's Armor Combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's Body Armor and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
The saga of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces is a very tasty story. Tahiti Joe went exploring the South Seas for the spices and was easily sidetracked, but don't tell his lady.
Then, after a few months, Tahiti Joe blended a beautiful array of spices with clam juice and honey.
It had a sweet tropical flavor, and with the heat of the peppers, it reminded him of the islands.
Tahiti Joe had to name the new sauce, and Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces was born. Try it as a chicken wing sauce.
Barbecue, marinade,
or use it to create a delicious Polynesian Mary.
So, visit www.TahitiJoesHotSauces.com today to satisfy your cravings for
tropical taste sensation.
www.TahitiJoesHotSauces.com.
Nobel Prize winner Alexis Carrel, cell biology researcher, discovered a detoxified and nourished cell lives in a state of eternal youth. Clean cells will result in improved energy, mood, blood sugar, liver function, and skin health. Also, you can lose fat and keep or gain muscle and reduce or eliminate inflammation and more. To discover how to detoxify and nourish the 100 trillion cells of your body, call this free recorded message at 866-844-1047. That's 866-844-1047.
Okay, I'm going to go back to 91-year-old Barbara Geyer. And I asked her before we went to the break if she could tell us. I mean, you've seen the United States of America change quite a bit. And we've been through wars. We've been through economic disparity. How do you perceive right now our current state of the union? Do you think we're in trouble right now? And what do you suggest we do to get out of it?
Well, there's an old saying that I've known practically all my life. Mind your own business, take care of your own affairs, and leave other people alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that applies to other countries, too. We can't fight all their wars. Our soldiers, it makes me so ill to see our soldiers wounded for nothing.
For nothing.
Nothing.
Now, you've seen wars previously, World War. You've seen world wars yourself. We had, at that time, we had a population of people who were very patriotic to defend our nation from some very evil forces. Right now, do you see the difference between those wars and that generation of people that came together and what's happening right now? We're on the offensive, aren't we? Aren't we the world's terrorists? The way we're going to war?
We need to get the message to the American people. I've been saying for a long time, when the American people fully get the message, there's going to be something doing. It'll be something like there's never been before.
Yes.
Because I take my citizenship very seriously, and I take every other citizenship very seriously also. So that's why I've done what I've done. And they're going to do the same thing when they learned what's been going on without their knowledge or consent.
That's right. And I've been saying this, and I think you'll agree with me, that what they've been doing to the TIs, the targeted individuals, they've been experimenting with this technology. And they're going to do it to just about everyone, aren't they? Is that the way you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a paper here. It's not even a full page. Can I read it?
Oh, yes, please do. Absolutely.
I don't know who made I think it was one of the older targets. Classified medical and scientific research on involuntary human subjects. Dear citizen, for too many years now, I have been pursuing justice for hundreds of involuntary human subjects in the latest round of classified medical research. I do not know how, in an era of peace unparalleled in our lifetimes, the national security of our country can be increased by conducting experiments in the Nazi style in our civilian population. In 1997, Senator John Glenn introduced a Human Research Subjects Protection Act, S-193, in the Senate. I have a copy of that bill. Title II dealt with classified research on human subjects. As slim as were the protections offered human subjects, the bill was ferociously opposed by the Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Association and other vested interests. The act was never even marked up by the Subcommittee of Labor and Human Resources, in which it was referred. However, in his introductory remarks, Senator John Glenn did make it known that the existing regulations are routinely circumvented when national security interests can be invoked. President Clinton himself has signed such directives, and his executive memorandum has been studiously ignored by his own administration. More than 2 years after his memorandum, there have been absolutely no compliance with the minimal protections that was requested. The Nazi doctors tried and convicted and executed at Nuremberg were professional, humane, and even compassionate when compared with the officers and agents which the Central Intelligence Agency has deployed in the current round of classified human experiments.
Wow.
This research is the most bizarre and depraved and cruel punishment ever inflicted by one human being upon another. It involves no less than activation of the human organism by remote electronic means and is an extension of the infamous MK Ultra subproject 119. The effect subjectively is very much like satanic possession as is depicted in motion pictures. Tens of thousands of Americans have already died since biological process control weapons became operational in 1980. Most of them have been American citizens or residents, but the United States has not been reluctant to share these weapons with the English-speaking countries with whose intelligence services it has traditionally exchanged information. Cases of involuntary human research have come to our attention in the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. But many of the death squad operations are going on right here in Philadelphia with the cooperation of the School of Engineering and Applied Science at the University of Pennsylvania. The United States is in violation of its responsibilities under the Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the Convention Against Torture, and the 4th, 5th, and 8th Amendments of the Constitution of the United States of America. Classified medical research on involuntary human subjects has been going on continuously in one form or another since 1940. The only positive thing which can be said about these atrocities is that they are no longer inflicted on the poor alone. The current round is also being inflicted on middle-class people, just like yourselves. Are you there?
Oh yes, no. I wanted to see if you were going to. What's the date of that letter?
I don't have a date on it.
You don't. That is absolutely remarkable. We have just a couple of minutes here. You've been spectacular, Ms. Geyer, and I want to ask you what you believe. And this show was founded. It was started because we wanted to awaken as many people as possible, one day at a time, as many people as possible in the shortest period of time. What do you think we need to do to stop this from happening?
Well, I really don't know, but I think if our president is going to do something constructive for our people, he better restore law and order in our country. There's no way under God's sun can anybody violate another person secretly and get by with it. I
agree. Ms. Geyer, I'll be back in touch with you. Thank you so much for your time. We come back.
You mean continue the call or?
No, thank you. I will get back in touch with you personally, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Now.
Yes, is that okay? Or do you have more to say?
I have more to say.
Okay, hold on one second. Stay right there. 91-year-old Barbara Geyer has more to say. And then I'm gonna continue on here right after this short break, and we'll be right back, and we'll have Amy Anderson right after Ms. Geyer. There we go.
Welcome to a real minute of information with Life Change Tea. Thousands and thousands of people are fighting flus, colds, viruses, and such, and are losing valuable time at work or just plain old feeling lousy. Did you know that just 2 8-ounce glasses of Life Change Tea can help you with flu, colds, and viruses? In fact, Life Change Tea helps with more than just flus and colds. Life Change Tea helps fight cholesterol, blood pressure, constipation, colon buildup, liver problems, and much more. Just drink 2 8-ounce glasses a day and feel the difference. Many people reorder this product every single month. The cost is about $1 a day. No gimmicks, just results. So order today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or you can call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. And just so you know, one of Life Change Tea's side effects is losing weight. Health is important. Don't procrastinate. Order today at getthetea.com.
Susanna, what's the best way to stay warm this winter?
Oh, that's easy. It's Tahiti Joe's hot sauces.
Okay, but what flavor?
Well, that's not so easy because there's so many to choose from.
Polynesian,
Tropic garlic,
Tahitiaki,
volcano ahi,
Camel Toe Hot Sauce.
Analyze this.
Quadruple X Ghost Pepper Hot Sauce.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company. All of our sauces are made with a beautiful array of ingredients with no preservatives added and are prepared with a tropical passion for the perfect balance of flavor and heat delivered directly to you.
So warm up your winter with the tropical taste sensations from www.TahitiJoesHotSauces.com.
Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces. Get some today.
Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oath Keeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan. Not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any grid-down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's Armor Combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's Body Armor and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
With email, Skype, Facebook, Twitter, and cell phones, we're more connected than ever before. But there are huge privacy and security problems with all of them. Things are being blocked where they're needed most, where people are fighting for their beliefs. Now, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to replace Skype, Facebook, email, and messaging with something more secure so you can communicate freely? Ready to change the world? Introducing Unseen, the first free, secure, and private communication platform. Secure chat, secure messaging, secure content delivery, like nothing else. Unseen gives you the key to freedom. You have the power to change the world. Sign up now for free to give freedom.
This is Cosmic, and you are listening to the Pete Santilli Show. Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
What difference at this point does it make?
Okay, I'm going to go to Ms. Geyer once again. Okay, and Ms. Geyer, we have maximum 5 minutes just because we have such a tight schedule. I had to move Dr. Terry Robertson. He's going to be coming on, but I need to go to Amy Anderson after this 5-minute segment, if it's okay with you. Okay.
Sure.
Ms. Geyer? Yes, five more minutes, and it's definitely well worth it. Thank you so much. Please continue on.
Well, I was a victim for 20 years before I saw anything that would explain what had happened to me because everything was kept so secret. When I saw the 60 Minutes show on CBS in December 1984, I knew right away that's what had happened to me. So I sent and got a copy of the transcript of the show, and I probably made at least 200 copies of that and handed out and given out to other people. But I've never gotten in touch with another victim from there, or that was a victim of that. Anyway, I've accumulated a lot of information from all over the country. I'm in touch with other victims all over the country. Today I had calls from Florida and the state of Vermont. They are in dire situation. They don't know what to do, where to go to get help. This is very, very serious.
It is. It's very serious. And what is your suggestion for somebody that's reaching out? They want to learn more. What is your recommendation to those individuals that know that they're being targeted?
Well, our elected officials they either really don't know about it or they're pretending they don't and they don't want to get involved. So there's no way that if the doctors that we've contacted are involved in it, at the Mayo Clinic, I went and had X-ray with dye twice, and the report was that nothing showed. And the last time I stood up, put my hands on my hips, and said, "Look, you or nobody else is going to tell me nothing is there." And that was the end of it. I come home and I wrote him a letter, and I said, "You take my file and you do whatever you want to with it. You will never see me again." Yeah. Anyway,
now, to this day, you believe you're still being targeted?
Oh, absolutely. Only worse. Yeah.
In what way?
With electronic secret weapons.
And what are they doing to you? How do you know you're still being targeted?
I'm not allowed to sleep.
You're not allowed to sleep. How much sleep do you get a night?
Probably 2 or 3, 4 hours.
Unbelievable. Wow. 2, 3, 4 hours.
I want to read you this.
We have just a couple minutes. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
This was when Clinton was president.
Let me know when you're done reading. Go ahead.
Executive Order 788318. Human trace implant microtransmitters shall be placed within all newborn infants in all hospitals and home birthing centers in North America. The implantation may be performed by the delivering nurse or doctor or a representative of the Department of Transponder Records. Failure to perform this action will result in federal penalties and possible revocation of medical and professional licenses. The cost of both implantation and the TIM device shall be carried by the U.S. government, and there will be hormonal punishments for those attempting to remove, modify, or tamper with already implanted transmitters.
Wow.
Now, by God, that's not that's so infuriating that.
Oh yes. I'm on behalf of our country, I apologize that we've put you through this, Ms.
No.
Geyer.
I'm just thankful to be able to speak and be still here.
That certainly shows your true character, and thank you so much for sharing this information. Thanks for being part of this day, and I will get back in touch with you personally. Okay, we'll be in touch with you. All right. Thank you.
The time is of the essence because we never know what's going to happen from day to day.
We certainly don't. Thank you very much. You've been an inspiration to a lot of people.
Hurry.
Sure.
Please hurry.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Geyer. Yes, we certainly will. Please hurry. I'm going to go back to Amy Anderson. Amy Anderson, this is what we're going to do, okay? We've adjusted our schedule. In just a couple of moments here, I'm going to bring Dr. Terry Robertson on, okay? And Amy, you're going to be given, I want you to close out the show with me in the final 30 minutes, which is going to be at the 3:30 hour Pacific time. Are you on the East Coast or West Coast?
I'm on the West.
You're on the West Coast, okay. In California,
I live 6 hours away from you.
Oh, okay. On the West Coast, okay, fantastic. You're really close. You're a neighbor. At
and
3.
Maybe we can get an event together, Pete, for the TIs in Northern, and ask everybody else to come to some event down in the South.
I think so. I'm very passionate about this topic. Well, everyone should be. I mean, those that aren't passionate better get passionate. Okay, this is becoming, Amy Anderson, worse than Nazi Germany, because Nazi Germany didn't have the technology that they're using now. Isn't that true?
They started it. They brought them scientists over there to here, and they already had them. They already was perfecting some things. Those people over there was guinea pigs, and then the United States wanted to stay with advanced technology, so they brought them people over here to work on the United States citizens.
You know, and they're not even using it to, I mean, as far as a quote-unquote Holocaust, as far as killing millions of people, what's most appalling is that they want to keep us alive and enslaved, and it's even more inhumane, isn't it?
Well, Pete, it's half and half. They are killing people. They are using the medical community. Once they attack these people's body, they use the medical community because the doctors are not aware of the technology symptoms, so they hide behind medical symptoms to falsify people's medical records. And the TI try hard to say this is happening, but because the doctors are not allowed to say these things, they get a premature death.
Yeah. Wow. This is Ms. Geyer. She just gave testimony that she's been subjected to this for 50 years. Based on your research, how far back have you been able to go? How long have they been working on this, Amy?
I went back to the first so-called mental patient, which was his name. I went back to 1800s, and his name, I can't remember that right now, but I will remember it before the show over, because I want you to know that they mess with our mind. But his name was I'll come back to
That's okay.
you.
That's okay. Listen, we're going to spend, like I said, I'm going to...
Oh, okay, I got it now. His name was Matthew Tilly. It was the lobster heirloom, and he was a tea broker, and he was stating the exact same things of a TI, and they locked him away for the rest of his life. But look it up, James Matthew Tilly, the heirloom game, and that was in the 1800s. It's there. It's on the internet.
Okay. You're welcome. Stay with us all the way through. We have lots of great guests coming up, and I'm going to, you're going to have at 3:30 until the close of the show. You and I are going to close the show out, okay? And if I can get you a little bit earlier than that, I certainly will. So stay right there. Dr. Terry Robertson, board-certified anesthesiologist. He's been in private practice for the past 19 years. He's an activist with the TI community. I became so in 2008. He's going to be joining me right after this break. I'm going to connect him. And, wow, this is I mean, you guys, I'm blown away. I hope you are too.
Life Change Tea detoxifies. GetTheTea.com. It's only about $1 a day. GetTheTea.com. Receive more energy. GetTheTea.com. Lose weight. GetTheTea.com. It's purifying. GetTheTea.com. It works immediately. GetTheTea.com. It's too easy. GetTheTea.com. We challenge you. GetTheTea.com. What's the phone number? 928-308-0408. What did you say? 928-308-0408. I didn't get that. 928-308-0408. Will it work? Yes. GetTheTea.com. Unmatched. GetTheTea.com. This gets in your head. GetTheTea.com. That's the idea.
The Guerrilla Media Network is proud to announce that we have a 24-hour listener line for mobile phones. The number to dial is 712-432-7848, and there's no cost for the call. The calls use only mobile minutes and avoids costly data rate charges. If you have unlimited minutes, the call is absolutely free. 24 hours a day, 7 days per week. You can listen to the Guerrilla Media Network listener line. Just dial 712-432-7848. Coast to coast, 24/7. The Guerrilla Media Network is the #1 alternative to the alternative media. Put us on speed dial, 712-432-7848.
With email, Skype, Facebook, Twitter, and cell phones, we're more connected than ever before. But there are huge privacy and security problems with all of them. Things are being blocked where they're needed most, where people are fighting for their beliefs. Now, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to replace Skype, Facebook, email, and messaging with something more secure so you can communicate freely? Ready to change the world? Introducing Unseen, the first free, secure, and private communication platform. Secure chat, secure messaging, secure content delivery, like nothing else. Unseen gives you the key to freedom. You have the power to change the world. Sign up now for free to give freedom.
And now, broadcasting live from deep inside the bunker at FEMA Region 9 is your host, Pete Santilli, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
Okay, I'm going to go quickly. We're on a tight schedule, a lot of information to cover. This is the Mind Control Marathon here on the Guerrilla Media Network, and I'm now joined by my next guest, Dr. Terry Robertson. As I said, he's a board-certified anesthesiologist. He's actually worked closely with the advocacy group Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance. He's served on the board of directors and as chairman of a medical committee. During this time, he has conducted extensive research on voice data induction technologies, voice of God weaponry and psychotronic weapons, and compiled a lot of data of the TI community. He's interviewed hundreds of TIs. Now, sir, as a welcome to the Pete Santilli Show, Dr. Terry Robertson. Please share with our listening audience, sir, and with limited interruption here because we have a 15-minute segment with you. Tell everyone who can't imagine that there is such a thing as targeted individuals. Tell them what you've been able to compile in your research. Does this exist, and what do you say to those that don't believe it?
Well, thanks for having me on, Mr. Santilli. Without a doubt, I think once you start looking into the history of this research and non-consensual experimentation in general, you will come to the conclusion that this does exist. Now, is it actually being able to control the mind, or is it just suggestion and harassment and psychological torture? It's probably a combination of both. I want to commend you, first of all, for having Dr. Duncan on earlier. It's always a pleasure to listen to him. He's probably the only person now with any type of insider knowledge that's actively speaking out. Mm-hmm. What I found from doing my literature researches is that you can find data going back to the 1940s and 1950s, a lot of it from the Russian literature, that they started doing effects of mind control, the effects of radio frequencies on the human body, the effects of microwave frequencies. And the United States was probably playing catch-up in response to all that. But there are numerous admissions out there from the military literature, from news reports, that we were actively engaging in this. A lot of it was in the 80s and 90s. And what I realized earlier, kind of going through all my notes again, is that there's been a dearth of literature over the last 10 to 15 years in our country. We're not hearing about this anymore. And that's probably because it's become so classified and that it's actually been put into implementation. So what we're left with is looking at the people that are claiming they're victims of this. And that's where, I served with Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance as their medical chairman for about 3 years, from about 2008 to 2011. During that period of time, I got the opportunity to interview several hundred PIs, talk with several of the private investigators that the group had contacted, and look. We were able to identify a certain demographic. And when we looked at who are the TIs, these are not. It's not run-of-the-mill people. This is a group that's highly educated. Mm-hmm. 50% of the people that responded, and we had over 1,000 people respond to the survey. 50% of them are college graduates, and 15% of them have postgraduate degrees. The average population in the United States only has about a 25% college graduation rate. Mm. So this is a highly educated group. Is that by design? More than likely. You look at the old mind control experiments that were being conducted in the 60s, they intentionally selected the most gifted and intelligent people, and often children, to participate in those experiments. Mm. That's the hypothesis that I'm working on. They have selected intelligent people. But what also stands out among this group, 85% of them are single.
Oh, really?
Single people make easy targets. They have a limited support structure, mm-hmm. limited family. So who do they go to? It's a lot easier to rattle somebody's cage if they're by themselves. And as Dr. Duncan alluded to earlier, if we look at the techniques of torture interrogation that are done on prisoners in the CIA detention camps, we can see a similar parallel with what's happening with the TI community. They're isolated. They go through a period initially of sensory deprivation and confusion. You know, they start getting bombarded at night with what they complain is pain throughout the body, electrical shocks throughout the body, hearing voices. They're unable to sleep. They become sleep deprived. They become confused. And it seems to be part of a process of breaking them down. And then once that breakdown process occurs, they seem to go through another period where they maybe start getting some type of repeated messaging.
What about? I'm sorry to interject. What about geographics? Is there a category of people that are close to a certain antenna? What have you been able to establish? Can they dial in to anyone anywhere in the United States of America, no matter where you're located?
Well, here's what I'll tell you in regards to that. We looked at the demographic data. The most populous area, or the largest number of reporting TIs was in California, or actually New York, followed by California, then Florida and Texas. Kind of tends to follow the population trends, you know, the most populated areas in the United States. What I will also tell you is that this is not limited to just the United States. This organization has been contacted by people throughout the world, many in Western Europe, China, Australia. And the other thing that I will say is that specifically some of the people that report having the voice-to-skull symptoms, it tends to follow them. In other words, if they live in California, they hop on a plane and go to the East Coast, it never stops, which tells me that it's not locally transmitted. This is something that's probably global in nature.
I'm curious as to, well, I want you to tell us more about this voice of God weaponry, but how are they able to dial into an individual? I mean, I just picture it like, remember the old paging systems where you could dial into a telephone and send a message to a pager that was just out there in the middle of nowhere. And no matter where that pager was, it would receive that data. That pager could be in one location, change locations, it would always receive it. Is the human body a receiver and they're able to connect directly to it? A unique identifier in that human skull, per se?
Without a doubt. Now, with that said, you know, there's been research into every aspect of the electromagnetic frequency spectrum, you know, exploring everything from extra low frequency waves up to ultrasonic waves. What's their effect on the body? There's also been, the body itself is an electromagnetic organism. It can receive and it can transmit electromagnetic waves. You actually have your own distinct electromagnetic resonance frequency signature, and it can be detected at least up to 6 feet from your body. Are they able to dial in on that and use that as a specific code from you? That's what seems the most likely. You know, most of the TIs that I talk to, they're convinced that somebody's put an implant into them. And what I can tell you is that I have looked at a lot of X-rays, we've looked at a lot of MRIs, and with the exception of maybe one or two people, we're not seeing anything. If this is an implant, it's something that's not being picked up on X-ray or MRI, say for a few rare cases.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, which tells us that the human body is an antenna, transmitter, and receiver. Correct?
Exactly, and that's been shown back to. I believe I saw some of the Russian literature that stated exactly that back in the 1930s. You know, they knew that back then.
Who originated this just evil technology? Was it the Russians or the Americans?
There seems to be more Russian literature that's older than the American literature. So, I think they were much more advanced than we were. Now, when the Cold War ended and Russia, as we know it, basically broke up into several smaller states, there's reports from Russian news sources that the KGB and CIA started signing collaborative agreements to develop psychotronic weaponry together. So to some degree, they probably started sharing information and even sharing resources at that point.
Now, Voice of God, we have just about three minutes left. Voice of God weapons. Tell me about that.
The Voice of God weapons. This is what is basically, some people refer to it as voice skull technology. There's several different ways to transmit a voice into the head of an individual. There's the microwave auditory hearing effect. There is the ultrasonic effect that you can use. Two of the most popular things, or two of the most well-known applications out there are what's known as S-Quad, or the silent sound spread spectrum. It was developed in the early 90s by Silent Sounds Incorporated in Georgia. It's been admitted to be used. It works on a UHF and ultrasound carrier. It's actually able to directly input emotions, feelings, and possibly even sound directly into the human brain via radio frequencies that can be broadcast from an airplane flying over, or who knows, maybe they can even do it through digital sound systems now,
you say
your digital cable.
I'm sorry, just as we conclude here, are you saying that they're communicating through the ear possibly, or you say through the skull?
This is directly inputted into the mind, and the brain picks it up as an EEG cluster pattern.
Wow. Dr. Terry Robertson, this won't be the last time that I'm speaking with you. Very, very intriguing. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for your patience. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to reconnect our telephone lines here. We're going to open those back up. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. And I'll be back in touch with you, okay?
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Wow. Okay, everyone, stay right there. I'm going to reconnect our phone lines here over the top of the hour. And then I have Dr. John Hall coming on next. Don't go away. A lot more to come.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
The saga of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces is a very tasty story. Tahiti Joe went exploring the South Seas for the spices, easily sidetracked, but don't tell his lady.
Then, after a few months, Tahiti Joe blended a beautiful array of spices with clam juice and honey.
It had a sweet tropical flavor, and with the heat of the peppers, it reminded him of the islands.
Tahiti Joe had to name the new sauce, and Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces was born. Try it as a chicken wing sauce.
Barbecue, marinade,
or use it to create a delicious Polynesian Mary.
So, visit www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com today to satisfy your cravings for
tropical taste sensation.
www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com. Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oath Keeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan. Not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any grid-down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's Armor Combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's Body Armor and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
This is Dr. Judy Wood.
A double-blind study showed individuals who took 3 grams 8 weeks had a significant reduction in abdominal body fat and body weight. Those who took the supplement lost 5 times the amount from their waistline compared to those who took a placebo. Find out what supplement it is and the best source of it by calling and listening to this free recorded message at 866-844-1047. That's 866-844-1047. 866-844-1047.
Okay, I want to apologize, actually, because I ran a little bit over. I ran right into one of my favorite little, I call them bumpers, those little promos. If you have never heard of Dr. Judy Wood, okay, I want you to go Google it like I did and change your life like I did when you discover the truth about 9/11. Now, I went very, very easy on Dr. Robert Duncan. He's a scientist in a different capacity, very expert in mind control technology. But Dr. Judy Wood is someone who conducted, she's the only one who has conducted a formal, thorough forensic investigation as to what happened on 9/11. And she stumbled into something very important, that directed energy technology exists. Free energy technology exists, and it was used on 9/11 and used to turn the Twin Towers into dust in midair. And if you don't believe me, you look at the evidence that she encountered. She conducted a forensic investigation, filed it in the federal court system. For those people that are out there saying, oh, well, we need an investigation, she's done it. And her book, Where Did the Towers Go?, is a textbook that essentially puts all of that together. Take a look at her evidence. That's another. That's one of the first things where I really realized the world we live in is a very, very different place than it was before I discovered it. Now, my next guest, Dr. John Hall, he's a graduate of University of Texas in San Antonio, Bachelor of Science degree in biology and minor in philosophy. He attended medical school at the University of North Texas Health Center. He completed his residency at the Western Reserve Care Center system in Youngstown, Ohio. He's currently practicing anesthesiology and pain management in Texas. He is a diplomat of the American Board of Anesthesiologists and a member of the American Association of Physicians and Surgeons, in addition to being active in the Mind Science Foundation, which dedicates itself to the study of human consciousness. His book, A New Breed, Satellite Terrorism in America, is a combination of years of research and first-hand experience, as stated in the book, educating the public as to the extent of satellite surveillance is currently our best defense against total loss of privacy and our most basic human rights. And I welcome to the show Dr. John Hall. Dr. Hall, welcome to the Pete Santilli Show on this very momentous occasion here. We're calling it a mind control marathon, chock full of information from guests such as yourself. Welcome.
Man, Pete, it's good to be on. What a great job you're doing with this for exposure.
Geez, you know what? I've said this a couple times as I sit here waiting through the breaks and I'm doing work. I'm learning. This is an awakening for me, and this is the way this show has evolved. Is that I've found out about this information through people like Amy Anderson, and then I'm speaking to people like yourself. Dr. Robert Duncan. I'm learning so much right in front of everyone. And that's the way we need to share this. We need to learn as much as we can. We have an obligation to learn as much as we can, don't we?
Well, we do. And, for your listeners that are listening, Robert Duncan and I are actually, very good friends. We communicate on a pretty regular basis. Mm-hmm. And for your listeners that are thinking that this is science fiction or something that we've all made up, trust me, those of us with professional licenses wouldn't be sticking our necks out to expose this if it wasn't real. And like you said, I've had some personal firsthand experience with this. I've seen how it can destroy someone, which was the whole reason for the book. I knew when I wrote A New Breed that half the people that read it would think I'm crazy. The other half would believe it. And the book's accomplished what I set out to do, which is after doing a number of radio shows like yours and having a website, a lot of people contacted me and said, you know what, my wife or my husband or my son or my daughter was going through this. We took them to psychiatrist after psychiatrist. Nobody seemed to know what to do. The medication didn't work. That's still going on. It's okay. And then after hearing me called and said, we read your book, we heard you on the air, and now we understand why the medicine wasn't working, that it's something other than mental illness, that it is victimization. And that's really kind of what I set out to do with the book, and it certainly has accomplished.
So tell us about these satellites, which they've been working on this satellite technology for many, many years, but satellite terrorism in America, and for that matter, satellite technology is available all throughout the world. They can apply this same stuff, this terrorism, all throughout the world, can't they?
Yeah, and I'll tell you the reason the book was titled that way is that one thing I kind of had in my corner when I wrote the book is I do have access to some people that are within the CIA. So I had some firsthand knowledge. There is some question as to the delivery system of this technology. A lot of questions to it, and certainly the only people that are going to know factually are people who are, working in government. It is still classified, but my contacts did verify that most, if not all, of this can be done via satellite. So that was the reason for the titling of it. But the book, in short story, the book is basically about a female victim in San Antonio that I worked with, doing counter surveillance with. Took a lot of time and a lot of money to counter surveil the people that were stalking her, and found out that it was a former FBI agent who had hired nothing but family members that seems to have access to this technology. And she was a typical victim. She was being stalked 24/7. People she didn't know, cars that she couldn't identify, began stalking me as well once I started to help her. Multiple break-ins into her home as well as mine.
Wow.
And she was hearing voices, being attacked with directed energy, and being told what she was being attacked with as she was being attacked, as well as being sexually assaulted physically. Had enough contacts with the police department to actually get a police investigation, got the identities of the perpetrators. Unfortunately, at that time, the stalking laws in Texas weren't that great. I had to actually prove physical harm to get a restraining order. Because of my case and one other case I was affiliated with, helped with, our laws have been changed as far as getting restraining orders against stalkers. But, all said and done, in the end, the police said, she was drugged with rohypnol during the sexual assaults. She doesn't have enough memory to pursue them for rape and sexual assault. This guy's former FBI. He's working as a private investigator. Stalking is what he does for a living. With the current laws, we really can't go after him for stalking. So the decision was made to change the names and write a book to try to expose the crime.
Sir, now, as I'm learning through this, those antennas that have been referenced, that people believe that these local antennas are communicating with their brains with satellite technology. Those antennas are obsolete. You could be in California one moment, jump on a plane, go to Florida, and the system can dial into you. Can it? Is that from a layman's perspective? Is that pretty accurate statement?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. And a lot of victims will think that it's a neighbor or somebody using a handheld type of device, especially people that are living in an apartment setting. But I've taken victims out onto a desolate ranch that I have access to in Texas, where there are no cell phone signals and there are no power lines. I've taken people out on boats in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. And we've had people fly around, and usually when these victims start to travel abroad, they kind of come to the conclusion that it's probably not being done with a handheld device next door, because I even had one fellow physician call me that's in Texas and said, I wasn't real sure how this was being delivered until I left Dallas, Texas on a plane and flew to South Carolina and heard it and got attacked by it the whole way in the plane and after I got to South Carolina. So financially and economically, it wouldn't be feasible to have a crew of people actually get airline tickets and fly with you to attack you everywhere you go. I've even had one victim that flew to Cuba and was still getting victimized in Cuba. And at a time was convinced that agents were getting on the plane, with him. But, boots on the ground, whether it's for private investigative work or stalking or any other way, is the least economically feasible way to surveil someone.
There are people operating these systems, And you said that you know some people within the Central Intelligence Agency, of which, by the way, I have a good friend of mine. I was in the Marine Corps with him. He works for the CIA. There are good people who are in the intelligence community. I believe that there's two factions, a very evil one that are probably controlling this technology. But who the heck are these people, and why would they ever want to employ this stuff?
Well, if you look back, you have to look back historically at all of the mind control type research, as far back as MK Ultra and MK Search and Bluebird, all the monikers that we all know. It was never the agency directly doing the research. It was always done through front companies. It was done, through guised as legitimate research through universities. The government always had a way out. And the only reason we know anything about MK Ultra is because they missed some of the documents that they had already destroyed because they were in another building. What we actually found out about MK Ultra, how we found out, was through financial records that they didn't shred. So if you look historically, this has always been done through front companies. Now that it can be done remotely with directed energy, basically the laboratory's been taken out of the lab and into the community. The entire community is the laboratory. So it can be done remotely. It's the boots on the ground that are doing the stalking are probably in most cases not direct agents of any agency, but are independent contractors that are being hired by private investigative agencies, most of whom are probably former FBI or former CIA.
Right.
So it's kind of being done where, there's some plausible deniability for the appropriate agencies that are just collecting the data.
Right, and liability as well. I notice even with, let's say, corporate mercenaries on the war side, they're hiring these corporate entities to go into our war zones and commit these crimes, and the government's thereby not even liable. They've got multiple barriers of protection, don't they?
Well, and that's exactly right, and that's why you see these private intelligence companies and private war companies constantly changing names. When they do commit atrocities in the field of war, then they change their names and they pop up as another name. And I think we both know who we're talking about here. But that typically is what they do, and that appears to be how this technology is being dealt out, and especially from having done counter surveillance and counterintelligence on the group here, and still not really being able to bring them to justice or do anything about it. In Texas, the private investigators are licensed by the Department of Public Safety, which is similar to the Highway Patrol in most other states. And this particular group has had 4 complaints on them just involving, my situation. And I've talked to other victims in Texas who have identified the same group. And when they go to complain to the DPS, they're being told that this group, this agency, private investigative agency, has no other complaints. So, there is a certain amount of protection that's being offered to these people.
Your book is about a girl, an attractive woman with a bright future. Her name is Mallory. She was suddenly struck down by unexplainable happenings, mind control, surveillance, stalking, and rape. Everybody probably thought she was crazy. Why did they target her? Why do you think she was subjected to this?
Well, she was. Actually, it was done to her by, unfortunately, a fellow physician who took a liking to her, who was kind of jaded. He was married, had kids her age, but he was best friends with the guy who heads up the private investigative agency. And he uses this agency to come to mess with his competitors, target his competitors with. So this particular agency actually not only hires out stalking, but hires out corporate espionage. So it's one of those things where the best way to explain it is there's third parties that are being allowed to have access. The appropriate agencies really are interested in how good the data looks as a whole, but the agencies that are being allowed to access this technology appear to be allowed to use it carte blanche however they want to use it, as long as the data goes back to the agencies that are actually giving them access. So, in a sense, you can if you're a perpetrator group and once you have access to the technology, you can use it for hate crime, you can use it for sexual assault, you can use it for corporate espionage, you can charge people to hire that technology out for a particular use, as long as the appropriate data on how effective it is goes back to the agencies that gave you access. So, and she was basically victimized by someone who wanted to sexually assault her. But in the grand scheme of things, she's still essentially a guinea pig, as are probably all of the victims.
Tell us about Dr. Jesus Mendoza Maldonado.
Jesus Mendoza Maldonado, I mentioned him in my appendix, and that's a very important case because he actually blew the whistle at a law school he was working at, where he found out the CIA was diverting funds from the minority educational fund to send their own people to law school. Once he blew the whistle, all the weird things started happening to him and his family. He left the law school where he was working. He moved back down to Mission, Texas, which is a little town near the border. He spent a lot of money doing forensic examinations of his house as far as types of radio frequencies coming in. He did find an abundance of different frequencies, including ionizing radiation, coming into his home. His wife and children were waking up every day with different burns on their bodies. His mother-in-law actually committed suicide to escape the torture. And he took this all the way through the federal court system up to, I believe, an appellate court. I have all the documents, I believe, in my book. And essentially was told by, at that time, Roberto Gonzalez, the attorney general, that it was not unconstitutional to target him.
Really?
Yeah. In the grand scheme, in the end of things,
wow.
I know I'm being direct, but it was worded a little bit differently in the document sent to him. But essentially, that's what they said, that he had no complaint, that nothing unconstitutional was occurring. So, and the bottom line is, and if a lot of people may have seen my statements at the Bioethics Commission, the bottom line in this country is it's not illegal to experiment on the public.
And it's not. It's government sanctioned. Can you imagine? Dr. Hall, stay with me. We're going to take a short break here and come back. And I'd like to, if we could, can you stay with me to the bottom of the hour?
Sure.
Okay. I want to find out from you. I want you to talk to me, talk to our listeners as to what we need to do, whether it be, going after the money, cutting off the money flow to these people, cutting off supplies, cutting off their electricity. Is it talking to these individuals that are on the other side, convincing them they need to come out? What do you think it's going to take to stop this from happening to human beings here on the planet Earth? And we'll hear from Dr. John Hall right after this message, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just scratching my head here. I want to stop this.
Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oath Keeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan. Not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's armor combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's body armor and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
Folks, Ronnie McMullen here, talking to you about the immune system. As a talk show host, one of the major topics is health. It seems there are powers that be that want and desire the public to be sick. These are huge topics discussed on my show, but there is a way to combat this sick system. Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is an all-natural product that gently cleanses your inside, gives you more energy, and builds your immune system. All organic and a natural weapon against toxicity. Customers have been buying year supplies to make sure they're prepared and healthy. Interested? You should be. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com, or you can call us direct at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. On the Ronnie McMullen Show, these topics get covered on the Get the Tea website these topics are addressed. Get rid of the dis before ease. You'll just be left at ease. That's getthetea.com.
You observed him smacking well-to-do girls in the butt. The Pete Santilli Show, the flagship show of the Guerrilla Media Network. I believe, don't mess with me and don't take my stuff. You see these fists? I'm gonna use them to beat the F out of you.
The Pete Santilli Show.
Even above and beyond the state-run, CIA-infiltrated media.
You're listening to The Pete Santilli Show
on the Guerrilla Media Network. Dr. John Hall joins me. He's the author of the book, A New Breed, Satellite Terrorism. Now, he commended me for covering the topic and, of course, inviting Dr. Robert Duncan on. I'd like to now commend Dr. John Hall. He's a practicing anesthesiologist. And obviously your reputation by coming out against this very thing that we're talking about, this satellite terrorism. Obviously, people look at you a little bit differently, and there's some risk associated with stepping out like you are. You see something being done very, very wrong. You're trying to educate the public. We need to go one step further. We need to do everything that we possibly can, of course, to inform the public. We need to stop these people. There's a way to stop them. There are people that are running this system, aren't there?
Yeah, and I've got a second book coming out called Guinea Pigs, Technologies of Control, and I kind of go in depth on the best ways I see to do that. Of course, right now we're more focused on, ways to survive it, not so many ways to stop it. And honestly, I don't know if the technology will ever be stopped or go away. There's been too much money spent on it, and it's too successful. And like with any other technology, sadly, there are good uses for this technology. They're just not being used right now. But it's going to take societal change and government change to do it. And one of the things that we've been working for a long time is a congressional hearing, similar to the one the Rockefeller Commission and the Church Committee hearings we had for MK Ultra. No, did it stop the research? No, it didn't. Because this, by all means, is a continuation of MK Ultra. But at least it put out some freedom of information material to prove that it's real. And, the biggest thing with many of the victims of this technology now is they get victimized twice. They're getting victimized by perpetrators that are using the technology on them. Then when they speak out, they end up parked in front of a psychiatrist. As we know, psychiatry is financially driven. Psychiatrists, for the most part, don't take insurance. They're $300 an hour average. And their answer to everything is to put you on a psychotropic medication and give you a diagnosis. So, ultimately they end up being victimized by their community psychiatrist that either a family member or employer asks them to go to or mandates them to go to. So
three facets then. Yeah, three facets by their attackers. Number one, they're the terrorists, by the medical community, and then by society in general, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why one of the goals I've had really is to try to educate other physicians and hopefully get some educational material into the hands of psychiatrists. As you know, most of these projects started with psychiatrists at the helm. There's no mystery why this mimics mental illness, why it mimics schizophrenia and delusional disorder. It was meant to do that from the start. So one of the things we need to do is at least get the doctors, psychiatrists in the trenches to understand that this technology has been worked on. Most of the psychiatrists I know plenty, here in San Antonio, their colleagues, they don't even know what MK Ultra is. And, I refer them to Colin Ross's book about MK Ultra, Human Rights Abuses by American Psychiatrists, because it was American psychiatrists that actually did most of this research early on and brought us to where we are now. If we can educate those people where maybe at least the second stage of victimization doesn't happen with these victims, it won't be so devastating to their life. So, we need public education so people believe it and know it exists so they don't make, the typical mistakes that a lot of victims make. that get themselves in trouble with psychiatrists. We need psychiatric education so they're not diagnosed wrongly. And we need just an onslaught of public awareness so there's a groundswell and a demand that the government expose this.
You know, yes, and sir, I believe also, and please pardon me for saying so, I've been very, very vocal about inspiring revolutionary change. We need to, and I've spoken to, constitutional attorney John Whitehead. He was just on the show. He's with the Rutherford Institute. Militant, nonviolent resistance. We need to expose this, bring it out in the open, demand public hearings, and not allow them to get away with. And this is where I'm leading here, because if we demand these public hearings, we don't want to get stonewalled with the quote unquote national security roadblocks that we typically get. They're going to say that they're using this to stop terrorism and use all of those lame excuses. The bottom line is this stuff is being perpetrated upon the American public. On that premise alone, national security should be set aside. These are human beings that are being treated as guinea pigs. We need to expose this stuff, and we need to demand it as soon as possible. I believe it needs to stop now, not wait for some future event or election to change things. What say you?
Well, you're right. I mean, ever since 9/11, the national security defense, has been used for just about every violation of our right to privacy that we've got, including this technology. And then the latest thing is the FCC wanting to put monitors in the newsrooms to shape and form the news that's allowed to be broadcast to the public.
Can you imagine?
That's state-sponsored media. That's the bare bones essence of communism.
Yeah.
And that would mean having a monitor, in on your show, making sure you don't say the wrong thing. That's not the America that we intended, and certainly not the America that was intended with the Constitution. And you're right, we need governmental change. And I go over that in the next book, too. We need term limits, for one, so we don't have the same people if they're making decisions. The government no longer fears the people when it should. It's just the opposite. Now the people fear the government. And I do a lot of lecturing to teenagers and to 20-somethings, all of them using Facebook and all of them putting their life history on Facebook. And I've tried to tell them that's a data mining tool. It was created as a data mining tool.
Yeah.
If you're going to have one, do just the opposite. Put diversion on
That's
it.
right. That's right. Militant, nonviolent resistance. This show, I think, represents that. Even talking about this topic makes me a potential target, which is okay for me. I think I can resist as much as I can. Dr. John Hall, thank you so much. I just, by the way, I just purchased your book. I just made the purchase through PayPal. I want to recommend A New Breed: Satellite Terrorism in America. Purchase that book, especially to support Dr. John Hall's efforts to get this word out. Sir, thank you so much. It's not going to be the last time I speak with you. I appreciate it. I'd like to invite you to come back on, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on today. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Pete.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more. Shoot, 6 hours is just not going to be enough. There's just so much information to cover. Unbelievable. We'll be right back.
Around the world 24/7, everyone's listening to Guerrilla Media Network.
If you enjoy the outdoor life or are preparing for any type of emergency, then you will need the world-renowned Kelly Kettle. The Kelly Kettle is an outdoor camp stove and kettle used to boil water ultra fast. The Kelly Kettle is the original water boiling kettle that works ultra fast using only sticks and twigs or whatever else you find that will burn. Don't waste your precious resources on heavy batteries and fuel. For over 100 years, this unique kettle has made boiling water in the outdoors quick and easy, even in the most extreme weather conditions. Whether you are cooking or boiling, you will appreciate the compact, lightweight design, super reliability, and a rugged durability that will last a lifetime. If your life depended on the features of an outdoor pro at a casual camper price, you would go to www.kellykettleusa.com. Enter Pete10 for 10% off whichever Kelly Kettle size fits you or your family best.
Aloha. Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
The saga of Tahiti Joe's hot sauces is a very tasty story. Tahiti Joe went exploring the South Seas for the spices and was easily sidetracked, but don't tell his lady.
Then, after a few months, Tahiti Joe blended a beautiful array of spices with clam juice and honey.
It had a sweet tropical flavor, and with the heat of the peppers, it reminded him of the islands.
Tahiti Joe had to name the new sauce, and Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces was born. Try it as a chicken wing sauce.
Barbecue, marinade,
or use it to create a delicious Polynesian Mary.
So, visit www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com today to satisfy your cravings for
tropical taste sensation.
www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com. Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oath Keeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan. Not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any grid-down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's Armor Combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's Body Armor and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
Life Change Tea detoxifies. GetTheTea.com. It's only about $1 a day. GetTheTea.com. Receive more energy. GetTheTea.com. Lose weight. GetTheTea.com. It's purifying. GetTheTea.com. It works immediately. GetTheTea.com. It's too easy. GetTheTea.com. We challenge you. GetTheTea.com. What's the phone number? 928-308-0408. What did you say? 928-308-0408. I didn't get that. 928-308-0408. Will it work? Yes. GetTheTea.com. Unmatched. GetTheTea.com. This gets in your head. GetTheTea.com. That's the idea.
A double-blind study showed that individuals with abdominal obesity who took 300 milligrams of this one supplement for 8 weeks had a significant reduction in abdominal body fat and body weight. Those who took the supplement lost 5 times the amount from their waistline compared to those who took a placebo. Find out what supplement it is and the best source of it by calling and listening to this free recorded message at 866-844-1047. That's 866-844-1047. 866-844-1047.
Okay, I'm going to also use this opportunity to speak with our listeners to tell you very directly that GMN, Gorilla Media Network, is something that's founded by Susanna Cole and myself. We actually, we got fired from every other... No, I'm just kidding. Actually, we just didn't want to participate in this independent media scam. The so-called truth movement is so far from the freaking truth. It's a big scam, the alternative media. So we said, you know what, let's just start our own network. And we'll be able to at least know that the truth is being told. And those that don't tell the truth, we just, we move away. We move along. We've got some great shows. The Pete Santilli show is the flagship show. And I've literally put in over out of pocket, over $100,000. This show's been going on for 2 years. I have put everything on the line, including shutting down my business. Right now I'm living on food, water, shelter, having a microphone in front of me. We have the necessary equipment to do, all the production and stuff like that. The monthly overhead, I've gotten to the point now to where, I first of all, I want to thank all of our contributors for relieving some of the pressure. But it's gotten to the point now to where we can only survive if our listenership helps out and contributes. We don't want to be beholden to any major corporate sponsorship. We want to help small businesses out, but our advertising dollars are very small and typically don't even cover our monthly overhead. If you would like to support us, it is actually essential to our survival. So please go to gmn.is and click on the donate page, or guerrillamedianetwork.com. Click on the donate page, and here's what happens when I do this. People think, wow, they're professional, they're huge, they're excellent, they're this, that. Everyone else is taking care of them. And it's the exact opposite effect. Whenever I do fundraising events, everything dries up. People say, well, other people are doing it, I'm not going to have to do it. And it's a weird anomaly. I think maybe they're employing mind control on our listenership. We have over 2 million listeners. There have been others that have had tens of millions of listeners and have done fundraisers, and they only collect, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 with tens of millions of listeners. So figure that out proportionately. Our right now, because of our economic times and because of the mentality of the listener that typically receives Google, Twitter, Facebook for free, they say, well, I'm going to do this for free. And it costs me a lot of money, costs us a lot of money, and we're always, every single month, in desperate need of your help. So please do. That'll be the last I mention that for the remaining balance of the show. You see the important work we're doing as far as bringing this information forward, and your help is vital to our survival, because I don't want to wake up one day and say, that's it, we're done, I have to go flip burgers. That's not going to happen. I can probably get I can do burritos at Taco Bell versus burgers and go one level up. Hopefully you're laughing at that. Let's go to the telephone line, 716 area code. We have a first-time caller in the 716. What's your first name? 716 area code, going once? Going twice? Let me make sure I have a good connection. Do we have Barbara? Barbara T.I. Hi, Barb. Barbara T.I. Aha. I know we have a good connection here. Let's go to the 929.
Hi, Pete. This is Barbara.
Who's that?
I spoke earlier.
Hi, who's this? Is this Barbara?
Hello?
I have like 3 lines open to see if one of them is working here. Is this Barbara?
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
It's really distorted. I spoke earlier, Pete.
Okay. Something going on with our telephone line. It's probably directed energy. Can you hear me okay?
Hello.
Yes. Okay. We're experiencing problems. Let's go to the 929 area code. Can you hear me okay? 929 area code.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me? 929 area code, if you can hear me.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me? Okay. This would be perfect if I were targeted all of a sudden.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, my name is Jamie. I'm area code 929. I'm calling from New York.
Okay.
Thank you for having me on to your show as a listener. I'm a targeted individual, and I just learned of my status last year. And I'm glad that you are devoting a 6 or 7 hour time slot to TIs, because we don't have an avenue to address our concerns. So thank you so much.
And I'm sorry, what was your first name?
I'm being blocked. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Wow. Hey, this would be perfect. People on the back line, you can hear me okay, right? I have good audio?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Okay.
Yeah,
Great audio.
I couldn't hear what you said, but I wanted to add that I wrote and directed a public service announcement about targeted individuals, and I thought I'd call in to the show to let you and your listeners know that it will be posted onto YouTube pretty soon.
Okay, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? No. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to reconnect here. So you guys stay right there. this would be perfectly fitting that we would just be all of a sudden having a problem with our outbound telephone line. So stand by right there. If you're there, I'm going to go ahead and reconnect. Let's see if that'll do us better here. Hold on one second. Hello?
Welcome to the Guerrilla Media Network.
Stay right there, you guys. Stay right there. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this would be right in line with our topic of conversation here. We are being targeted, possibly. Let's see if we can go ahead and reconnect the line. We should be good now.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Can you hear me okay?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, my name is Jami. I've been
Jami, guess what? I heard Jami, guess what? Jami, I heard everything you said. This is what I would like you to do. Send me your send me an email to Pete at thePeteSantilliShow.com.
Oh, that's easy. Pete at thePeteSantilliShow.com.
Make sure you put Jami in there, Jami from New York, in your subject line. And I want to exchange contact information and put your public service announcement on the Guerrilla Media Network, okay?
Oh, that would be great.
Okay.
And I just want to let you know that I am part of the New Jersey support group, and I'm friends with Tom, Cleve, and Gloria and Ken Rhodes. Those are individuals that you talk to most frequently, so they can vouch for the PSA. But I'll definitely shoot you an email once the editing is completed. It's a modest PSA, but it's at least it's something to get the word out. So if I may, I'd just like to say the email is PETE.
Yep, PETE at thePeteSantilliShow.com. If you are a targeted individual, you want to stay in contact with us, you have information to relay, send me information, and then I will connect with you and give you my that one receives a lot of emails, and I'll give you my private email so I can stay engaged with you. Thank you, Jami.
Oh, thank you so much, Pete Santilli. Thank you.
We'll be right back. Susanna, what's the best way to stay warm this winter?
Oh, that's easy. It's Tahiti Joe's hot sauces.
Okay, but what flavor?
Well, that's not so easy because there's so many to choose from.
Polynesian,
Tropic garlic,
Tahitiaki,
volcano ahi,
camel toe hot sauce.
Analyze this.
Quadruple X ghost pepper hot sauce.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's hot sauces and the Maui Pepper Company. All of our sauces are made with a beautiful array of ingredients with no preservatives added and are prepared with a tropical passion for that perfect balance of flavor and heat delivered directly to you.
So warm up your winter with the tropical taste sensations from www.TahitiJoesHotSauces.com.
Tahiti Joe's hot sauces. Get some today.
Hi folks, Ronnie McMullen here, talking to you about the immune system. As a talk show host, one of the major topics is health. It seems there are powers that be that want and desire the public to be sick. These are huge topics discussed on my show, but there is a way to combat this sick system. Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is an all-natural product that gently cleanses your inside, gives you more energy, and builds your immune system. All organic and a natural weapon against toxicity. Customers have been buying year supplies to make sure they're prepared and healthy. Interested? You should be. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com, or you can call us direct at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. On the Ronnie McMullen Show, these topics get covered. On the Get the Tea website, these topics are addressed. Get rid of the dis before ease. You'll just be left at ease. That's getthetea.com.
If you enjoy the outdoor life or are preparing for any type of emergency, then you will need the world-renowned Kelly Kettle. The Kelly Kettle is an outdoor camp stove and kettle used to boil water ultra-fast. The Kelly Kettle is the original water boiling kettle that works ultra-fast using only sticks and twigs or whatever else you find that will burn. Don't waste your precious resources on heavy batteries and fuels. For over 100 years, this unique kettle has made boiling water in the outdoors quick and easy, even in the most extreme weather conditions. Whether you are cooking or boiling, you will appreciate the compact, lightweight design, super reliability, and a rugged durability that will last a lifetime. If your life depended on the features of an outdoor pro at a casual camper price, you would go to www.kellykettleusa.com. Enter Pete10 for 10% off whichever Kelly kettle size fits you or your family best.
Live from the Rover Region 9, you're listening to The Pete Santilli Show.
That's right. Everyone put your hands in the air and join me. I have an idea, okay? This guy at 2045.com, 2045.com, there's a tab here. It says Rebrain, Rebrain. And this guy, Vitaly Dunin-Barkowski, says that he's doing a detailed model of brain prototypes within 5 years or so. That's what he's working on. And I say we all pitch in. And we find somebody within our, of course, appropriately trained and qualified and sanctioned to do so. But anybody that could drone this guy's laboratory, Vitaly Dunin-Barkowski, that would be a way to stop some of these advances. Dunin-Barkowski, Vitaly, working on brain prototyping and helping to enslave us. We need to get these CIA people on our side. Maybe we can all pitch in tax dollars and offer rewards to whistleblowers. In the meantime, let's go to the telephone line, 716 area code. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes. What's your name?
My name is David. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I called in before. I'm using my son's phone because my phone is messed up. It's been messed up for almost 3 hours.
That's right in line with what what is supposed to be happening, right? We're getting out the wrong information. and we're not just conspiracy theorists. We know that this is very possible. They can just dial in with their satellites and just screw up our communication. But welcome, David.
Well, thank you so much.
I take it you're a targeted individual based on what you just told me.
Yes, I've called in a few times now, and you've talked to me. I really appreciate you doing this marathon. It's vital not only to the targeted individuals, but it's vital to every man, woman, and child on the face of the planet.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that, David. How long have you known that you've been targeted?
31 years this April.
Oh, shoot. Are you kidding me? Wow.
No, I'm very serious.
So 31 years you've known and you've gone through this. Let me ask you something. What's been the hardest thing to get through? What's been the biggest struggle for you?
Well, it's just numerous things. You see, right now, what I'm doing, I'm talking to you, okay? Right now, I've had tinnitus for 31 years straight, okay? Immediately, for last 31 years, it just came on. You go to doctors, and there's no etiology for what's going on. They can't give you anything. So you just stop going to doctors. But to answer your question, probably the worst thing is sleep deprivation. The individuals that I know that have been deprived of sleep especially young children, okay, younger kids and their teenagers, okay, they commit suicide because what happens is they're not getting any sleep. Therefore, they get very, very depressed, and the next thing they do is they think about suicide because you're not getting any sleep. So it's very critical for a child to get sleep. Now, myself, I'm 66 years old. I'll be 67 this year. I got to tell you, I think I've had maybe 3 to 3.5, no more than 4 hours of sleep a night for the last 30 years.
Wow. And yeah, you're right. When you're younger, your brain is developing, and you need the downtime. You need the sleep time. And you're right. It's a very, very sad occurrence when I want to put a message out to everyone in the TI community that we need to pull in these younger individuals that become targeted. We got to pull them in and take very good care of them. Tell them to be strong. David, do you think we can fight this thing? You think we can shut it down?
Well, I'm going to tell you, when this all started, they pretty much told me that they said, there's nothing you can do about this. No matter who you write, no matter who you contact, you'll never be able to do anything about this. But for individuals like yourself who's coming on board, there's always a shot. I've worked with a lot of good people. I worked with Mark Phillips, he's former CIA. I worked with Robert Duncan. I believe he was on today. I missed it because I came in about 3 o'clock. Robert Duncan went to Washington, D.C. with a group of us in June of 2006.
Yeah.
I work with very few good individuals that really know what's going on.
Yeah, David, this is what I'm going to say, and I'm pretty radical when I say it's time to shut her down. I'm talking about let's cut off somehow, some way, the money flow to Washington, D.C. We don't even need that destructive federal force. I don't believe that we do. If there's any way that we can convene a whole bunch of people to just go to Washington, D.C., shut down commerce completely, and ask every single one of those criminals to exit the building, take your paper clips, the picture of your wife with her fake boobs, and leave the building, and get them out of Washington, D.C., we can have them replaced with the TIs tomorrow and have a better country. Replace them with unemployed people, and tomorrow we'll have a better country. We can shut off the money flow to this evil CIA entity and all these other 3-letter agencies. Let's cut off their money flow. And then all of a sudden, these people that are getting paid, quote unquote, doing their job, all of a sudden, they don't have a job. And maybe we can cut off the people that are operating this system, David. I think so. It sounds radical, but I'll tell you what, we live in very radical times. What's being done to you is even more radical, David.
Well, I'm small potatoes compared to a lot of individuals. They've been going through. Ken Rhodes been going through it a lot longer than me. We talk. We travel a little bit here and there. Ken's the traveler. He gets the job done. He puts out a lot of information. But I'm coming from a little different angle now because of the fact that once I realized that it's not just about the CIA, it's not just about the Department of Defense, it's not just about the National Institute of Justice, okay? And I think really what really happened was that we think, I'm not a Frank Church, okay? I'm not a Senator Frank Church. I'm not a Ted Gunderson with COINTELPRO. They say these things shut down. They've never shut down. There's new budget, new agencies. But what I've done is I followed the paper trail all the way down to local government. That I can deal with because it's an election year.
Right.
Okay? And the fact of the matter is that we have these technologies, according to an associate of mine, a good friend of mine, who was a deputy sheriff for 32 years. He retired from the Erie County Sheriff's Department after 32 years. And he said all the counties that he traveled to, almost all of them had these technologies.
Yeah. I would say also at the same time we put pressure to cut off the head of the snake, Washington, D.C. We don't even need them. We have enough government in each and every state. We can take care of ourselves, I believe. I think it's time, David, for a revolution that I'm going to be talking about, as I have been for 639 episodes now. But guess what? At the local level, we can nullify the NDAA, for instance, nullify any unconstitutional actions that are being perpetrated upon our local citizens. We do need to get active at the local level. If we can pass legislation saying, you know what, we're not going to go by your programs, and make it unconstitutional to perform any acts like that are being performed on the TIs in our local communities. Let's get that legislation passed locally. Let's send a message to those people that are going to be that we're going to replace in Washington, D.C. I think it's time for a revolution, David, don't you? Don't be afraid to say so.
Well, I'm telling you, at my age, I don't know what I can do, but I tell you one thing, I'm down. I am down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I want to make it really clear to everybody. When I say revolution, okay, I subscribe to what John Whitehead from the Rutherford Institute said on this show the other day. Militant, nonviolent, absolute resistance. It's time for us to shut them off, dude. Seriously. It's time. We can do it peacefully, I believe. Can you imagine if we cut off all their money flow? All those people that are, quote unquote, doing their jobs, they won't freaking have any. How about that?
Well, I hope you're right. I hope it can be done. I only just hope and pray. That's what I do. I do a lot of praying. I've been an activist, a researcher. You know, I'm a minister of the gospel, and I'm an elder in the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
David, we have God on our side. I think we should operate with absolute 1,000% fearlessness. I think that God needs to intervene, and I think we need to do the right thing. We need to stand up, and we need to rely upon His strength. No doubt about it. I believe that. We have Him on our side.
There's absolutely no doubt in my mind, Pete, and I thank you. I really do. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much for educating me. I mean, this has been an educational experience all the way around. David in Buffalo, let's stay in contact. Okay, drop me your contact information to Pete at thepetesantillishow.com. Now, this is what's going to go on. I'm going to have here in a couple of minutes Chris Zucker. He's in radio himself. He's president and founder of Freedom Fighters for America. He's the producer of a show called Freedom Fighters for America World Radio. He's going to be joining me. We'll take more of your calls. I'm going to take especially our first-time callers here. In the 506 area code, what's your first name?
Hello, Pete.
Yeah, what's your first name, sir? Well, welcome.
Good afternoon, and friendly, you referred me to your radio show.
Oh, good afternoon and welcome. We welcome you with open arms. What's your first name?
My first name is Werner.
Werner.
I'm calling here from New Brunswick in Canada.
Oh, fantastic! Welcome.
Yeah, and welcome to your listeners. I've been at the target for the last 38 years.
Wow.
And I spoke there about a month and a half ago to Miss Geyer, Barbara Geyer, and I'm amazed, the spank she still displays after all the ordeal she had to go through.
What?
But what you have mentioned earlier, it is not just only that we have to go after the ones at the top, the rotten apples at the top, we have to work at the grassroots level too, because this movement, what we are dealing with, is a worldwide movement, and they have basically like a little fungus infected the grassroots too. They're right in the communities. They can be even members of their own family.
Yes.
In the early 70s, before when my ordeal had started, there was another farmer just only 30 miles away. He encountered the same problem.
Yes.
And his lawyer, who later on became a member of parliament, and he was the mayor of the city of Moncton, he said, we cannot do anything against that bunch. They even work with computers.
Werner, we're gonna be. I have to. I want to stay in contact with you. Are you German?
Yeah.
Do you believe? Send me your email to pete@thepetesantillishow.com. I'll have you come back on. I have a guest coming up here over the top of the hour.
Okay.
Sir, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this. Are we now in an electronic version of a Nazi concentration camp?
People have been boondoggled now for the last 100 years here in North America by the controlled media.
Yeah. Let's do to these people that are running this concentration camp the same thing that we did to the Nazis. Join me. It's time to rise up.
Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, an Oath Keeper and disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan. Not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all gear especially suited for any grid down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's armor combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's body armor and make sure you let them know that you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
This is Audio Soldier from the Sunday Night Reboot Show with this special message. GMN needs the support of each of our listeners since we will never take a dime from major corporations. Your contributions are not only appreciated, they are critical to maintaining our independence and loyalty to our listeners. Please visit www.gmn.is or GorillaMediaNetwork.com and click Click on the donate button now. Our donors and members will have access to our chat rooms, forums, and daily downloads of commercial-free iTunes podcasts. Please donate now.
GMN is giving the finger to the NSA.
We came, we saw, he died.
The world's most powerful drug lord has been apprehended in Mexico. Word comes from a senior U.S. law enforcement official who says the leader of the Sinaloa cartel was captured by Mexican Marines overnight at a condominium in the resort of Mazatlan. The official says U.S. authorities were also involved in the arrest of Joaquin Guzman. Ukrainian opposition icon and former Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko has arrived at a Kiev protest camp after being released from a hospital where she was incarcerated. Tymoshenko is the chief rival of President Viktor Yanukovych, whose rule is crumbling after protesters took control of the capital today and Parliament voted to remove him from power. No apparent injuries after one of 3 Canadian bobsleds crashed during the second run of the Olympic 4-man competition today. The crew members were checked over by medical personnel. This is IRN USA News.
You probably knew that Thomas Edison gave us the first commercial light bulb. But did you know he invented alkaline batteries and an electric train? Edison said, if we all did the things we're capable of, we would astound ourselves. Hi, how in the world are you anyway? I'm Andy Willoughby. For almost 2 decades, I've been helping families build home businesses. Many have been astounded at what they've been able to achieve. Today, I want to introduce you to my newest and most exciting home business concept ever. It's MaxAchieve.com. If you'd like to earn $500 to $5,000 or more a month working from home, check out MaxAchieve.com. This is more than a home business. At MaxAchieve, we want to help you experience more success in all areas of your life. To find out how you could astound yourself, go to MaxAchieve.com. That's MaxAchieve.com. Or call 800-801-3465. 800-801-3465.
Sherry Lash Rhodes has been described as a woman who bullied her way through life. But Sandra Parriott, a businesswoman in Cedarville, California, says she would never have expected Rhodes to start, quote, blowing people away at a meeting. Police arresting Rhodes on suspicion that she did just that Thursday at a tribal meeting in Alturas, leaving 4 people dead and 2 people wounded. Police are looking into whether the pressures of facing an eviction over a federal investigation into tribal finances may have been a motive in the shootings. The nation's governor taking a rather cautious approach on legalizing marijuana. Republicans and Democrats gathering for the National Governors Association meeting in Washington this weekend, expressing broad concern for their children and public safety should legalized recreational marijuana use spread to their states. States are watching closely as Colorado and Washington establish themselves as national pioneers, becoming the first states to approve recreational marijuana use in 2012. This is IRN USA News.
When you do your taxes with TurboTax Federal Free Edition, your federal return is free. And now, with TurboTax, you can use your federal refund to buy a gift card worth that much plus 5%. That means you get your refund plus new running shoes, or your refund plus binoculars, or your refund plus lots of things. Because it's your plus, your very own plus, to do whatever your tax-doing heart desires.
Simple returns only. Offer details at TurboTax.com.
Intuit TurboTax. It's amazing what you're capable of.
Police say more than 50 people are taking shifts searching for 5 missing snowmobilers in northern Wyoming's Bighorn Mountains. Lieutenant Mark Conrad with the Sheridan County Sheriff's Office said poor visibility and wintry weather are hindering the search for the group, reported missing early Friday by the owner of the Bear Lodge Resort. The snowmobilers were last seen about 3:30 p.m. on Thursday. Civil Air Patrol planes with infrared capability have been requested to help in the search, but the pilots can't fly in the current weather. Conrad has said all 5 of the snowmobilers are from North Dakota and are considered to be experienced. They are also familiar with the mountain range. Customers of some medicinal marijuana dispensaries are finding they don't have to go far if they get a case of the munchies. Girl Scouts seem to be foregoing the usual supermarket stops for selling their beloved cookies. A few days after a teenager sold dozens of boxes of cookies outside of a San Francisco pot dispensary, 8-year-old Lexi Moniz returned to a dispensary in Phoenix today for the same purpose. The girl's mother got the idea after hearing about what happened in San Francisco. Lexi sold more than 50 boxes on Friday. A spokeswoman for the Girl Scouts says this is not something the organization would encourage, but that it is up to the parents. Many people believe the Girl Scouts are just being creative and finding a captive audience for their product. I'm Bill Morrison with IRN USA News.
Visit WazooSurvivalGear.com, home of the adventure bracelet and other wearable survival kits today. For survival bracelets with all of the features you need for everyday challenges, with options for construction materials, individualization, and a wide range of utility features like fishhook, safety pin, whistle, cable ties, fire steel and striker blade, compass, and more. Meant to be disguised in your everyday life and ready whenever you need it. Don't forget to upgrade your adventure bracelet to include surgical tubing, first aid tinder fat packs, and a handcuff key. WazooSurvivalGear.com, survival bracelets, survival keychains, do-it-yourself kits, and more. Plus, if you donate $100 or more to the Guerrilla Media Network, we will send you one of Wazoo's wearable survival kits with a custom GMN nameplate as a reminder of our appreciation.
Okay, I'm going to get to your calls now. This is how it's going to go. All right. I'm gonna actually invite my next guest. His name is Chris Zucker. He's going to join me. Chris Zucker is he's the host of and president and founder of Freedom Fighters for America. He produces a show called Freedom Fighters for America World Radio. And he joins me on the line, and with because he's in the radio business, I'm sure he'll be gracious enough to ride shotgun with me as we take your calls at 218-862-9829. Guess what? A 6-hour mind control marathon is in its final hour right now, and it flew by. I don't know where the past 5 hours went. But it's been a learning experience for me, I'll tell you that much. And here we go with Chris Zucker. Chris, are you on the line?
Thank you for having me on your show.
Sir, thank you for being with me. I really appreciate you taking the time out for this very important event. Most importantly...
Well, it's my pleasure to come on to this show, especially with so many other people who suffer through the nature of this government mob operation that's going on here in America and around the globe.
No kidding, huh? It's frustrating for me. I'm a former United States Marine, so I've got that. And my job in the military was aviation deployed weapons, nuke, biochemical, conventional, aviation deployed weaponry. So I have that certain militancy about me, but at the same time, I've always been in a I guess a defensive type of mode as a United States Marine to protect, defend, and support the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't even apply. They have just trampled the Constitution. I see it as an irrelevant document. What about you?
Well, I found that we have a parallel government, and we've had it here for a long time. We have a government that allegedly operates under the rule of law, and we have another parallel that does not, and does everything to systematically destroy any laws that we already have, such as the Constitution document and the type of nature of our core values here in America.
Yeah,
I think that what the callers are reporting here are just specific facts and evidence to that specific statement I just made.
Yeah, they've got this, just like you said, there's this parallel secret government that operates covertly, and they just do whatever they wish to do. And they're, I'm sure, a bunch of psychopaths for allowing it to take place. to treat us human beings or their fellow human beings like we're a bunch of freaking farm animals. Aren't we, Chris? We're being treated like farm animals.
Well, I in my targeting system, because I am a victim as well. I was a victim of forced human experimentation with brain-computer interface at Stony Brook University Hospital on Long Island in New York. And I was a witness to some serious crimes by police officers and by associates of one of the top 5 mob organizations in the country. And I was placed in that system because I was a witness. And they needed to disable my credibility, such as grab me out of an FBI building on Pine Lawn Avenue in Melville with a girl whose husband was mob connected. And the husband wanted to kill the wife and steal the children. He was estranged from this woman. He had ties into organized crime as a restaurateur. They stole her children. They almost killed her on numerous occasions and then went after me. And I had witnessed some serious stuff with bad judges, bad cops. So, they attempted to grab me off the street, which they were able to do within the FBI building themselves, and haul me off, bring me into a court system, and then subsequently try to kill me on 2 occasions during that transportation, and then bring me over to this facility.
How long ago did this happen?
They had the guy just waiting to sign off documents to state that I was mentally disabled and all this other jazz, for absolutely no reason at all. They can get away with this.
How long ago was this?
I became a witness, and I've become an advocate now for many years against these people. I've witnessed their type of operation in the local communities. I've been attempting to expose this over the internet by blogging, by doing videos, by doing shows, such as yourself, on the internet. And so there are some serious things going on here in the country. What people really need to understand is that government works with organized crime. That was brought out during Project MKUltra, and that was an admission by people within the government that they do work with organized crime figures. Let me tell folks out there, if I may, Pete, the operation. Okay, please. The basic operation, because it's very, very intricate and very complicated. But on a general source here, the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, the CIA, the ABC agencies, and the local police, state police, it's on all levels. They're working right now to systematically shut down the system, and the surveillance system is this. They're using people in sensitive areas within local unions on the local, state, and federal level, like the guys who work on the telephone lines, the guys who work for the electric companies, the people who come into your homes, and all of this. They are part of this program. They are the ones who are hooking up the surveillance devices and the targeting devices in homes. It's not all satellite, like some people claim. It is ground-based as well, seriously ground-based. They have the capability of jumping a telephone line into a home electrical system or in any building and monitor that building in real time. That means they can view you in this building in infrared, even in the dark. It's like taking a piece of red transparency and putting it between you and another person. That is how they view you in that room. Okay, I've seen it with my own eyes. So I can tell you that's the way it works. They also can target you in a residence the same way. They can send these signals through the phone line and jack it right through the electrical system of the house. They will then, at one point, under the Patriot Act and the sneak and peek, they will go into the residence with a team of people. They will usually have a cop sitting on a corner or in front of the house protecting these people while they come in. They'll take down a wall. Now, they have people who have capability of gaining access into your residence, to disarming if you have an alarm system, if you have a dog, whatever they need to do to gain access to you, they have people that will come in and do it. That's the way it works.
And what do they do when they get there?
They will take these devices and they will tie in the whole, whether it's an apartment or a house, they will tie in the system into every room of the house. In other words, have you ever seen like Vivint, for example? I'll use that company as an example. Not saying that that company is responsible. You can hook into different rooms, and you could turn off lights, and you can turn off switches, or you can adjust the heat or the air conditioning and that type of thing. Well, that's what they do, but in a different form, of using these devices that can literally target an implanted person with like low frequency waves and what have you. There are speaker sensors that they can add, which are very, very tiny. They can hook it up to, let's say, a heating system, for example, and they can send the frequency through the pipe, okay, and that will resonate the sound from the pipe to the speaker itself, and it sounds like somebody's speaking to you in the room, okay, that type of stuff. Also, I heard somebody mention that, this satellite stuff, that yes, it's according to demographics. If you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't have an electrical system and you don't have a telephone line, they're going to use satellites on you. Hey, or they'll take a flat antenna, stick it up on the roof of the house underneath the roofing tiles, and broadcast that way. Access is the determination, and so is the demographics. Okay?
Hey, Chris, you mind if I ask you a question? I'm gonna ask you in a Pete Santilli kind of way, because I'm pretty direct. You sound like
go ahead.
A confident, assertive, New York kind of guy. But I'm going to ask you. You're
that lives in Connecticut.
yeah, who lives in Connecticut? Okay, but let me ask you. Right. How do you know all this stuff? You sound pretty confident about what you know.
Experience, sir. Life's experience.
Okay, have you seen these guys installing the stuff in the house? Because it seems like technologically they don't even need to come in.
I have come home to this residence. I caught them in the act on 2 occasions. I come home, I watch them running out of my home when I pulled up. This was before I was biomedically implanted. Then I could be tracked. These people can view you. I was in a fusion center. I know how they can view you inside. I got into one under a guise.
How did you get into a fusion center?
These people that are involved in the unions thought that I was one of their members. And they let me into the room, and I saw the operation. It was on Long Island. I'm not going to give you the exact location, okay? And it's run by the unions. That means court officers. That means cops. That means a lot of people who are involved in the unions. These are your foot soldiers, what they call Obama's foot soldiers. That's who they are, okay? And they work in 2 groups. You have the organized crime groups. That's the gangs. All different types of them. The bikers, the MS-13 types, all of those people. The stalkers, okay, they're on that level. The other level is the cops, the professionals, the medical people, and that. It's split up. They call themselves the others. So they refer to each group as them and us. I'm giving you inside information, okay? This is how it This is how it is.
Chris, listen, that's all we have time for. I appreciate your contribution, though. Okay, well, let's stay in contact.
Yeah.
FreedomFightersForAmerica.com is your website?
Correct.
All right, man. Hey, thank you very much for your account of what's going on there with the unions in New York.
It's all over the country, Pete, and all around the world.
All right, we're going to come back, and I'm going to take a couple more of your calls in the last 30 minutes. I'm going to be joined by Amy Anderson. We're going to go over some facts, hard-cold facts.
Infidel Body Armor, made in the USA, and Oath Keeper, a disabled veteran-owned business in Texas, selling to U.S. patriots concerned about any type of ballistic threats when it hits the fan, not just law enforcement and military. The engineers at Infidel have designed lightweight, wearable, and durable body armor with life-saving reliability, made with military-grade steel and capable of withstanding hit after hit from high-velocity, large-caliber rounds. From rapid deployment systems to tailored models, Infidel Body Armor has all the right gear, especially suited for any grid-down situation. Infidel Body Armor sold at a fraction of the typical cost for police and military gear, which is designed to be replaced after ballistic impact. Remember, in the middle of societal collapse, replacement ceramic and Kevlar will not be easily found. Infidel's Armor Combo with plate carrier, front and back plate start at $375. Visit GorillaMediaNetwork.com/infidel to check out Infidel's Body Armor, and make sure you let them know you heard about them on the Gorilla Media Network.
Life Change Tea detoxifies. GetTheTea.com. It's only about $1 a day. GetTheT.com. Receive more energy. GetTheT.com. Lose weight. GetTheT.com. It's purifying. GetTheT.com. It works immediately. GetTheT.com. It's too easy. GetTheT.com. We challenge you. GetTheT.com. What's the phone number? 928-308-0408. What did you say? 928-308-0408. I didn't get that. 928-308-0408. Will it work? Yes. GetTheT.com. Unmatched. GetTheT.com. This gets in your head. GetTheT.com. That's the idea.
Oh my goodness. Like, okay, so I called this a mind control marathon, and I feel like we had to cram a whole bunch of information into 6 hours, and it's still not enough. Okay? And it's not. To take your calls is really important to me. We're going to go to your calls. Here's how it's going to go. The remaining moments of the show, we got 40 minutes left. Okay? I'm going to take 10 minutes out. We're going to do some telephone calls right now. Let's see. We have Larry, Port Los Angeles. Larry, I'm going to take calls until the 30-minute mark. We're going to go to a break. We've had to do these breaks. We do work behind the scenes. Plus, I need to make sure that I save my voice and spirit to get all the way through. But the last 30 minutes, I'm going to be with Amy Anderson, commercial uninterrupted all the way to the end of the show. Larry in Port Angeles, Washington. You're live. What's going on?
Larry. Pete. Awesome. Spot on stuff tonight, brother.
Yeah. It's been a learning experience. I hope for you as well. You're not a targeted individual, are you?
I think they try. I think you can fight it. I got a smart meter on my home, and if I told you the story of how that Gestapo'd on my house and all the other stuff, it's too long of a story to tell right now. But yeah, I've heard some some mind crime stuff go on. I've heard some stuff come out of the phone and in my mind, but I thought I was crazy, so I would never tell anybody about it. But then my friend was like, telling me, they got technology to, get your mind. And then the next day you had Deborah Tavares on, and then all the stuff she was talking about is the exact stuff that I've experienced. And I was like,
Yeah.
And so I believe in God. This is a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
It may be science and technology, but it's evil and good. And you got to tap into that God thing and fight it and say, no, I'm not, you're not welcome here. And I haven't really been bothered since. I had some experience with nausea, and the story of what came out of the phone was that after being on a ruckus show and kind of telling him everything that's going on in my neighborhood, and all of a sudden, a repeat of your show came on, and it started getting staticky, and I started getting super nauseous, and I have a background in health and fitness and nutrition, so was really in tune to my body, and I know what's foreign to me. Started getting super nauseous, and then this old-timey voice came out and said homicidal, and I could see the word in my mind, and I was just like, nope, and turn everything off, turn the phone off, turn all the lights off,
Yeah.
But I haven't had a problem with it since I was aware of it and aware of their tricks now.
Yeah, we have to be resistant to it, and you're right. It is a spiritual battle that I think we can win, but I don't think it's going to be without the help of God himself. We need some divine intervention. We have Jeff on the line. Jeff, what's your comment? Jeff, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Jeff, what's your comment? Real quick, I have a whole bunch of callers on the line. I want to make sure I get to everybody. Quick comment. Go ahead.
I'm a targeted individual. I've been one since 2008, and basically what they've done is taken the domestic anti-terrorism program and turned it around, and that's where you get the COINTELPRO part, the stalking, the organized stalking. COINTELPRO and the government was convicted of it once before, and then they were convicted of MK Ultra once before. It never ended.
How do you know? Hold on a second. Wait. Let's back up a little bit. How do you know you're targeted since 2008? Not that I just want to hear about your experience. How do you know?
How do I know? I'm being tortured with microwaves at night.
At night?
To the point where extreme pain for years. Extreme pain from synthetic telepathy, which is all patented. All the patents are out there.
Well, set the patents aside. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. So set the patents aside. The reason why I'm asking this is because this happens to me. I'm not just going to say microwave technology patents and start barking that stuff in the middle of the night. What happened to you? What did you feel?
If this happens to you, you'll know for sure
how
that it's going on. Trust me.
Tell me how.
You'll be in it. I've been through second and third degree burns, and I got second and third degree burns and donor sites of 70% of my body. And the pain that I've been hit with microwaves and ELF, worse than that.
And it always happens in the middle of the night. I wonder why it happens in the middle of the night. Why do you think it happens in the middle of the night?
It doesn't. It happens in the day at times, too.
It does,
It happens at night mostly, but it does happen in the day as well. So
why do you think they came after you? Why do you think they came after you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
This is an extrajudicial vendetta program. There's no habeas corpus, no probable cause, no due process. Nobody came to me and charged me with anything. As a matter of fact, I went and talked to authorities many times, and they said, there's nothing. We're not investigating you. You haven't done anything.
You're crazy,
et cetera.
Yeah. And you're crazy.
I talked to a friend of mine who was in the state trooper and retired state trooper in Connecticut, and he said to me, "This is someone I grew up with, played sports with my whole childhood into high school years." And he said, "Jeff, it's a federal program. There's nothing you can do about it."
Oh, geez, that's crazy. Jeff, thanks for calling in. Listen, I'm going to pop to the other lines. Please pardon me for popping through real quick. Susan, quick commentary, okay? It's I can't believe the 6-hour show is just not enough, but quick commentary, and then at the very end, I'm going to have to drop you. But what's your comment? Susan.
Hello?
Hi, is this Susan in the 757?
Yeah, you got me.
Hey, what's up?
2 comments.
Go ahead.
I have read Dr. Hall's book, his book about 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And it was mind-blowing. Exactly what they did to his girlfriend. He sort of talked about it today, but I'm telling you, that book, you will not put it down.
Really?
Yeah, this was a few years ago when he wrote it.
It was about Mallory, how she was targeted?
Well, it goes into a lot of explanation about the doctor who had the technology and how he would use it against his people, other corporations or people that, he wanted to target.
Right.
And he was targeting his girlfriend and him.
Yeah.
And just some very disturbing things that he did, they did with the technology. You just, once you get the book, you'll understand it because it's very well written.
I ordered the book. That's all we have time for in this segment. Susan, are you targeted?
No, I'm not. But one more comment real quick is stopthecrime.net. I ordered. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hurry. We're going to be
I ordered the Great American Adventure, Secrets of America.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, it's a little paperback. You can read it in an hour, but there's so much information.
StopTheCrime.net is an awesome website. Deborah Tavares. Oh, she's unbelievable. Susan, thank you so much. Stay in touch, okay? We'll be right back with Amy Anderson right after this.
Welcome to a real minute of information with Life Change Tea. Thousands and thousands of people are fighting flus, colds, viruses, and such, and are losing valuable time at work or just plain old feeling lousy. Did you know that just 2 8-ounce glasses of Life Change Tea can help you with flu, colds, and viruses? In fact, Life Change Tea helps with more than just flus and colds. Life Change Tea helps fight cholesterol, blood pressure, constipation, colon buildup, liver problems, and much more. Just drink 2 8-ounce glasses a day and feel the difference. Many people reorder this product every single month. The cost is about $1 a day. No gimmicks, just results. So order today. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or you can call us at 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. And just so you know, one of Life Change Tea's side effects is losing weight. Health is important. Don't procrastinate. Order today at getthetea.com.
With email, Skype, Facebook, Twitter, and cell phones, we're more connected than ever before. But there are huge privacy and security problems with all of them. Things are being blocked where they're needed most, where people are fighting for their beliefs. Now, wouldn't it be nice if there was a way to replace Skype, Facebook, email, and messaging with something more secure so you can communicate freely? Ready to change the world? Introducing Unseen, the first free, secure, and private communication platform. Secure chat, secure messaging, secure content delivery, like nothing else. Unseen gives you the key to freedom. You have the power to change the world. Sign up now for free to give freedom.
Aloha, this is Tahiti Joe, the maker of Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces and the Maui Pepper Company.
The saga of Tahiti Joe's hot sauces is a very tasty story. Tahiti Joe went exploring the South Seas for the spices and was easily sidetracked, but don't tell his lady.
Then, after a few months, Tahiti Joe blended a beautiful array of spices with clam juice and honey.
It had a sweet tropical flavor, and with the heat of the peppers, it reminded him of the islands.
Tahiti Joe had to name the new sauce, and Tahiti Joe's Hot Sauces was born. Try it as a chicken wing sauce.
Barbecue, marinade,
or use it to create a delicious Polynesian Mary.
So, visit www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com today to satisfy your cravings for
tropical taste sensation.
www.tahitijoeshotsauces.com.
If you enjoy the outdoor life or are preparing for any type of emergency, then you will need the world-renowned Kelly Kettle. The Kelly Kettle is an outdoor camp stove and kettle used to boil water ultra fast. The Kelly Kettle is the original water boiling kettle that works ultra fast using only sticks and twigs or whatever else you find that will burn. Don't waste your precious resources on heavy batteries and fuels. For over 100 years, this unique kettle has made boiling water in the outdoors quick and easy, even in the most extreme weather conditions. Whether you are cooking or boiling, you will appreciate the compact, lightweight design, super reliability, and a rugged durability that will last a lifetime. If your life depended on the features of an outdoor pro at a casual camper price, you would go to www.kellykettleusa.com. Enter Pete10 for 10% off whichever Kelly Kettle size fits you or your family best.
Listening to a live broadcast on the Guerrilla Media Network. To speak with the host from a landline, call 218-862-9829. Phone lines are open now, and we never screen calls. Your opinion and thoughts matter, so call now, 218-862-9829.
You've looked high and low. You think you've tried it all, and you still have yet to say, wow, I love how I'm feeling now. Imagine being able to eliminate a lot of your supplements and being able to get results all from one source that's been overmarketed, oversold, and underdelivered. The difference between this one supplement and all the others can be vast, and that difference will determine if you come alive or remain burdened. Call this free recorded message at 866-844-1047. That's 866-844-1047.
Live from the Overthrow Bunker and FEMA Region 9, you're listening to SANTLLI Show.
Okay, here we are. I promised Amy Anderson that I would give her 20 minutes of important time. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give her the 20 minutes, okay? And then I'm going to take the last 10 minutes and wrap up this show that we've called the Mind Control Marathon, which we had to cram all of this into 6 hours, literally cram it in there. But Amy Anderson, are you there? Amy Anderson, I know you're there.
Yes, I am.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do, okay? I've spoken enough. I've spoken for 5.5 hours, okay? I want to give you this opportunity. It's very important that whatever it is that you need to convey, I'm going to listen. I'm going to write down what you're talking about. I want you to talk to our listeners over the next 20 minutes. And I'm not going to interrupt you, okay? But I do need the last 10 minutes to wrap up the show, but go ahead.
Yes, sir. Pete, I want to thank Ken Rose for having me on Chief Kessler's show. Without that specific situation occurring, there would not be this TI marathon of mind control. So I thank Ken Rose, I thank you, and I thank all the TIs who's fighting to end this, and the ones who worked with the technology and also know that the technology is real and did their research. And we all at different levels. And some TIs are angry with me, but that's okay because I tend not to focus on the people around me, because it can easily create a psychological disorder for you. I focus on the technology. What in the hell is happening to my body and what is they doing? So this is my story, and here I go. Greetings, Pete, and I have to read this because I do have voice to skull, and they try to put words in my mouth, and they try to make me appear as if I don't know what I'm saying, so that's why I'm going to read it.
No, don't worry about it. We're meat and potatoes. Don't worry about it. Absolutely not. Go ahead, tell us.
Thank you. Greetings, Pete. I would like to give a brief pre-introduction before explaining how I became knowledgeable about the technology. I would like to say to all targeted individuals, directly and indirectly, don't get caught up in a make-believe world. 7 years ago, I went through what Edward Snowden warned the American people about NSA, illegal spying and wiretapping, and my life being placed under satellite surveillance technology covertly. I discovered my cell phone was being remotely manipulated and controlled by a computer hacker. This was no ordinary computer hacker I was encountering. I later reported these covert operations against me to my cell phone provider and the FBI, which went nowhere. And I even went to the people dealing with the district attorney, and they asked me, what do they want with you? Do you know prophecy? And let me out the back door. But I didn't connect the dots that this was really a government program. But I knew it was somebody in power that was doing this. I discovered these facts after experiencing a computer glitch over my cell phone that rerouted it to Jonah R. Montranga's modified webpage, which was linked to my cell phone. On his webpage, he was recruiting IT techs with computer programming skills. For 7 years, back in 2008, I learned everything about this man who had the power to alter my reality and replace it with artificial technology techniques, trying to remotely control my life. I also discovered that Jonah R. Montranga had his associate, Holly Brooke, a.k.a. Skylar Gray, assisting him with my electromagnetic torture. Because I know who my remote attackers are, after experiencing this computer glitch, I did a Google search and discovered what they had created and how they created these numerous mysterious computer forums and blogs stating I am their mind-controlled human subject. I also had the opportunity to discover Holly Brooke is an entertainer, and she goes by the name of Skylar Gray, who entertained at the 2011 Grammy Awards with Rihanna, Eminem, and Dr. Dre.
She sung a song. She was a background singer in the dark with the cameras off her. She sung the song "Love the Way You Lie" as the last performer, and she associates herself as an Illuminati. With all said, I will say again to all targeted individuals and indirect, don't get caught up in a created and modified make-believe world. I stress these things because if I not have had the opportunity to experience this complete glitch, I would not have known who my attackers are, although I know it was remotely. But because I used this opportunity to investigate these individuals and discover these computer forums and sent my attacker, Jonah R. Montranga, a desist and cease order of an affidavit asking him not to continue to electromagnetic torture me, and I was not interested in being this human subject. And he lives in San Francisco, and I work with Elizabeth Adams, who helped me locate his address. He never, it's been 2 years, he never stated that I didn't, he is not my attacker, never got attorney, never tried to contest anything I said about him. And in fact, I put a blog up about he's my attacker. He never, ever made any sound or order that I'm stating that he is not my attacker. And because of these reasons, I'm saying that anyone who is not aware that these individuals are sitting on these machines as computer programmers, contractors, whose goal is to manipulate targeting individuals' brainwaves in real time and laugh at us all, hoping that we never figure out the truth about who's and how, who is who, and how it is really performed. Another reason why I am knowledgeable about these technologies and weaponries, because I got on my knees after the 72-hour was over for them declaring me 5150 because I didn't know what was going on. And God told me that I should go to the library and spend my time researching. And that's what I used my remote torture and turned it into studying power as for 7 years nonstop. And out of that, I turned into technology knowledge, which is power for me when I become tortured. And these are my findings of what this technology is. After studying, Pete, the most important thing a targeted individual needs from the alternative guerrilla network is for you all to help be a voice for our community. We are like lambs backed up against walls by wolves, jackals, and hyenas, who are cyber predators attempting to remotely steal our minds with information technologies and weaponries. We are looking for the general public to help be our advocating voice by saying, no, I am not a direct targeted individual, but I will stand side by side with them to expose and fight back against the so-called powers that be and private contractors being involved in these COVID operations.
Yeah, especially.
Any natural
I was going to say especially the contractors. Go ahead.
Yes, any natural forces of energy of a living, creeping creature should not be controlled by these remote mind machines that are programmed covertly to alter the mental and physical state of life. Pete, it is very important for all consciously awakened not to go back to sleep about these kinds of technologies and weaponries. First thing is needed. One must take a closer look what these targeted individuals is informing the public about as a lab rat or guinea pig regarding these advanced brain-computer interface technologies. Many of those who are involved in these brain interface researches, for various reasons, are not allowed to discuss how this technology could be used for dark side of science and portray the essence of humanity. We need countermeasures technologies invented to stop us from being under these COVID attacks. Pete, I wish to talk about the dark side of these mind-altering technologies, which state it is used to help enhance the life of humanity, when in fact it's doing the opposite, according to those who are targeted by dark science COVID researchers. Let's get down to the root of these mind-altering technologies, which is called neuroscience brain research. In order to perform any brain research, one must invent a device that could perform computer interactions with animals and humans' brainwave frequencies. This invention is called AIBCI, which is Artificial Intelligence Brain-Computer Interface.
There are 10 minutes remaining in this conference.
Oh, okay.
A brain-computer interface is a device that can be worn by a computer programmer or unwitting subject that allows them to engage into a cyber mental state experience with a computer communicating with the brainwave frequencies of individuals and transmits into words from a decoded message into a TV monitor. And inside of this would be close captivation on a TV sound being transferred into words for a legally deaf person. One of the patents, I won't go into all of it, but is Silent Subliminal Presentation by Oliver Lowry, and apparatus and method of broadcasting audible sound using ultrasonic as a carrier. No matter where the target is, frequencies of the populace are covertly frequencies of the populace read via satellite and various types of other methods by these mind controller Wi-Fi brain hammers. Mm-hmm. There are many names of these individuals. Some know them as cyber predator stalkers, computer brain hackers, electromagnetic attacker, harassers, perpetrators, or black operative provocateurs. These individuals are assigned to manipulate the entire system of the world by manipulation of frequencies. They will go to the extreme to protect the dark side of science. According to Stanford Medicine and Neuro Innovation and Translational Neuroscience Department, and for speeding it up, the brain frequencies could be read, and that alleging people that have paralysis, broken breaks between the brain, these artificial methods were said to be used to allow the person to communicate with these machines and with brain signals.
Amy, 3 minutes, okay? Go ahead, 3 minutes to wrap up. Go ahead.
Okay, the prosthetic limbs. And another one is, one in the future, a person will be able to fly a helicopter with electroencephalography, EEG, with a person who is disabled. They will be able to fly aircraft. And my story goes on to basically say that these individuals are attempting to control the world with these brain-computer interfaces. And a lot of people have to become aware that all of these gadgets, that whatever they say that is not happening, is turned into, all these devices could be altered and modified into mind control. And no matter where the targeted individual go, they cannot escape this technology, because it is a brainwave radar detector machine that will know what you're thinking, what you're doing, and no matter where you go, the targeted individual brainwaves is fed to a biofeeder on a TV monitor and monitored until we fight to stop these things. And thank you for allowing me to share.
Oh, are you kidding me, Amy? Thank you so much for sharing, and I'm going to have you on my show. You haven't come on my show, have you? You've spoken on my show. I'm going to invite you on my show. I say my show, my regular show. Again, I'll have you come back, invite you on as a guest. We'll be able to talk more. Thank you for bringing this to me, to my attention, awakening me to this stuff. Thank you for all of your hard work and learning about it and conveying, factual information about all these patents and all this technology that's out there. Thank you very much, Amy. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. Remember, the brain do not have a firewall.
No, heck no. Let me ask you something. We have 30 seconds here, and then I have to move on to my my closing remarks. Do you think we can stop this?
I do, because I'm a fighter, and you're a fighter, and everybody on this phone is a fighter.
Yeah.
And if we wasn't, we wouldn't be here, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We, and you're a spiritual person too. Do you think it's going to require some divine intervention? I think we have God on our side, don't you?
Yes, and more than that, if you wouldn't have came, you were sent as an angel. Because we've been trying to get to Alex Jones, not trying to, throw that in there, but we got to you instead because it was something about you, Pete. And I just want to say, whatever it is about you, keep fighting, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much, Amy. I'm going to have you on. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone, everyone that contributed, and all of our listeners as well. I wanted to cover more, and we will be covering on an ongoing basis more of the U.S. Ignite topic. U.S. Ignite, and you heard it from Dr. Robert Duncan that he found out about U.S. Ignite here on our show. That was great. I mean, I know that we're at the forefront of exposing something. And, he also helped enlighten me. He's a scientist. He understands, what's going on with this mind control thing. And he thinks that even U.S. Ignite, I mean, if you picture it this way, the way I received it, he's like, yeah, U.S. Ignite's a very dangerous thing. And it's probably going to offer us more censorship. It's going to harm us with respect to censorship than it will the mind control aspects. Why? Because I'll tell you what, it was a very sobering moment for me to hear him say, there's not going to be any way that we can stop this, that this technology is so far developed. There's so much money that's wrapped up into this thing. Now, I want you to join me in the following thought. Okay. There's no doubt in my mind, and every single day I keep showing up. I started December 2011. I was the first listener when I pushed play. I listened back to my own episode. Now we're at 639. 3s, 6s, and 9s, by the way, are the most powerful numbers in the universe. Nikola Tesla, may he rest in peace. 639 episodes. On this 639th episode, I'm covering a topic and learning right in front of everybody. But I am still of the same spirit that I was at episode number 1. And that is, I wanted to awaken myself and awaken in front of everyone and do the best job that I possibly can to awaken as many people as possible in the shortest period of time. There's not a lot of time. There's a race here, and you see this race. There's a race towards either enslavement or for us to be awakened to the point to where we will, yes, the shackles will be there, but we can break those shackles. This is a resistance. It's not a matter of unconstitutionality or illegality or all those things. All those protections, like the pieces of paper that were put in place called laws, the lawmakers that we've sent to Washington, D.C., who are worthless pieces of crap. They're worthless. Multimillionaires. That's all they care about, is acquiring wealth off of our backs. That they are a cog in the wheel of enslavement. You voting is not going to solve any problems. Our voting will not solve any problems until after the following takes place. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe deep in my heart that we must purge that system. There is a government there of, by, and for us someplace in Washington, D.C., but not right now. We must, I believe, totally and completely rise up. And I'm talking about shutting a system down of commerce that is broken, a monetary system that is absolutely destroyed, and all of it is working towards what? Towards creating a system of enslavement that we can only say we're hopeless and we can't stop it. I believe that if we all get together, picture this, that if we shut down Washington, D.C., if we shut down commerce, if we refuse to go to work, if we rise up when we protest, look at what they've done. And I'm not going to get into the complexities of Kiev, but look at what they do to inspire human beings to get out there and shut things down. They're able to inflict some serious pain upon the existing structure using people. Now, it was inspired by the CIA in the Ukraine, but just think if we, the people, all came together and we said enough is enough and we shut our system down completely. We demand that Washington, D.C. not change things. They're never going to change. Demand that they leave. They must vacate the offices.
Sorry, there is no more time remaining in this conference.
They need to be replaced with the good people that are joining us here on this show today. The people who are unemployed, there's millions and millions of people that are unemployed right now in the United States of America. We could replace each and every politician in Washington, D.C. with an unemployed person, and we'd be a much better country. We don't even need Washington, D.C. for that matter. We could shut it down completely and still survive. If we, the people, rise up and we resist this thing that's being done to us to keep us docile, just think what the world would be like during our lifetimes if we shut it down. If we had revolutionary change, and I'm talking about militant, nonviolent resistance to shut the whole system down and revamp it, we can start fresh. We can start anew. We can, during our lifetimes, see positive change. We can, during our lifetimes, set an example that if our government is out of control and it runs amok like it is now, the economic system is out of control. The monetary system is out of control. The technocracy is out of control. The media is out of control. Everything is out of control. So by me suggesting a radical, out of control solution to revamping it is in favor of who? Of we the people. I believe the world's most powerful weapon, I'm going to say this again, is a population of 7 billion people who are wide awake to this stuff. Right now, we don't have people that are even aware of what's happening to them. That's what we did today, was we laid it out. We made them aware. We need to share this information, and we must present, yes, a radical solution of totally and completely revamping Washington, D.C., cut off the money to the CIA, fire all their butts. And for all those that are saying, I'm just doing my job, we need to make sure that they don't have a job. We need to fire them and start fresh. We can do it. They need to fear us. Thanks, folks. We'll see you on Monday. You observed him smacking well-to-do girls in the butt. The Santilli Show, the flagship show of the Guerrilla Media Network. I believe, don't mess with me and don't take my stuff. You see these fists? I'm gonna use them to beat the F out of you.
The Pete Santilli Show.
Even above and beyond the state-run, CIA-infiltrated media.
You're listening